Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is season 2, episode 20. Got a little bit of a new interface. Obviously using StreamYard. We're too broke to pay for it. We're just cheap asses. We're not going to pay for it. Jewish grandfather, Italian guy. So we're not going to pay for shit we don't need to pay for. But anyways, we're using StreamYard. You'll see the cool little ticker going across. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Awful fucking weekend for Sebastian and I. The only solace I had out of this weekend is the fact that the Packers didn't play. If they did, they probably would have lost. Before we get into any football stuff, prayers to Chet. Chet dealing with the iliac fracture in his hip to be reevaluated in 8 to 10 weeks.
Oh, and Pablo too.
Yeah.
Or Boncaro.
Yeah, Boncaro.
He got hurt. He was playing really fucking good this season. He was having like a top 5 season.
Yeah, and then KD. I mean, I know how hated KD is in the state of Oklahoma, but he was playing like his MVP type season, and then strained his calf or something happened with his calf. He's going to be out for a little while. So I was kind of excited to see KD back, but I'm going to the Suns game this weekend. But first NBA Cup game I would have gone to. But
we should go to the March 9th. We should go to the OKC Nuggets game in Oklahoma City.
100% down. I'm so down for that. But we'll kick it off as we always do with the pain that was Saturday night. Waiting around all day, all fucking day. I did all of the shit that Aurora needed us to do. We did it all during the day. I sat down and helped her with the tree right as the game was starting, just for OU to just blow that one out their ass, dude, and lose. OU loses 30-23. It was 9-3 at halftime. If they had any semblance of offense, that game would have been 21, 28-0, 28-3 going into the half. Probably 28-0 if Peyton Bowen didn't, fumble that or muff that punt. So everything that could go wrong went wrong for OU in the fourth quarter and throughout the game. I think they fumbled another 6 times in this game to go from near last to last in the FBS in fumbles. Bottom of the SEC in turnover margin. This defense that was not even opportunistic, just forcing fumbles left and right in the start of the regular season has done nothing since then. Absolutely nothing.
Well, they had the fumble to Billy Bowen.
Right. They had the scoop and score. Not that they've done nothing. They've played exceptional defense, considering the fact that how bad the offense has been.
One time in high school, I broke my arm, and that really fucking hurt. And then during before it completely healed, we were playing a Frisco tournament, and I fell on it before it completely healed, and it completely separated the radius bone. So I, surgery. Like I've got, can't really see it because my arm here, but I had to have screws, like rods, and like a metal plate put in it. And the pain that I felt after that happened, like when the endorphins wore off, it's pretty brutal. Past 2 weeks of watching my football teams, it's been worse than that. I mean, it's torturous. What did I do to deserve this?
The exact same.
It's like if you hung me upside down and tortured me, that would be nothing compared to the brutal feel, the pain that I felt watching Oklahoma and the Chicago Bears play football.
I saw someone tweet the other day that we really shouldn't have. Waterboarding is a bad thing, right? We shouldn't have done waterboarding, torture to anybody. But if you really wanted to get someone to talk, you should just sit them down, duct tape their eyelids open, and make them watch OU's offense.
Yeah, even Big Cat, when he was talking about the Bears, and I completely agree with it. That was first thing that came to my mind is waterboarding in Guantanamo.
Oh, it was Big Cat, wasn't it?
Yeah. Waterboarding in Guantanamo. If you just strapped a chair, a terrorist to a chair and made them watch the Bears offense, they would reveal all their secrets.
Yeah, it's the same with OU.
It's just both of my teams are the exact same, and it's torture to watch. I haven't been good. Like I haven't felt this type of misery in a while.
At halftime we had two passers, two throwers of the football. I'm not going to call them quarterbacks because I don't think either one of them are, to be honest. Well, one of them is definitely not. One of them is a good punter, but we had two throwers of the football that were tied for yardage. Jackson Arnold at 43 yards passing, and Luke Elzinga, who was 1 for 1 with 43 yards. That was the fake punt.
We had two throwers of the football that had they had more than 10 yards on one passing play.
Yeah.
Can you guess both of those passes were by who?
It was Taylor Tatum and Luke Elzinga.
Yes, so not the quarterback. That's hard to do.
It's almost like impressive that it's that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get it. I feel bad. I don't know if we talked about it. You watched Danny Sutzman's post-game interview, right?
Yeah.
Did you see?
Well, I mean, like we can talk about the defense. We can talk about the defense real quick. They played really good. They only let up a field goal in the first half, forced several punts. Billy Bowman had the awesome big fourth down. Yeah, big fourth down stop. Good play design. Just Billy sniffed it out because he's an incredible player. It just feels like this team does all the wrong things.
At the worst.
Because you needed to rely on your defense at the end of the game. And Drew Pine hadn't been able to do shit. And then he had 2 touchdown drives in the fourth quarter. Because both of them were the Theo Weiss, correct?
Yeah.
Like he looked incredible on both of those drives. Like they ran the ball efficiently. Like you can't rely on the defense to close out the game.
The one in the third quarter was to Theo on the double screen, which looking back, look, Eli Drinkwitz is the biggest dork in fucking college football.
I fucking hate that guy.
And we lost to him, dude.
He's so fucking weird. Like I can't. He's a good coach.
Fucking weirdo.
He's a good coach. Like he's a good coach. I mean, I'm not saying he's a great coach. He's a good coach. He's winning football games.
That's true.
He's fucking like I can't explain it. Like you have to he's like nerdy weird. Like I fucking hate that guy.
He's a fucking.
And I think Missouri, like I like some of their players. Like I like Theo Weiss and Luther Burden.
Yeah. Also, Theo, quit all the bullshit. Okay, we did not hate you, and we did not want you to leave. We didn't push you out the fucking door. So quit acting like Sooner fans treated you like shit when you left. It was nothing but love. He went over to the fucking Sooner section, was talking a whole bunch of shit. He's been doing it on social media all season. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
it's what it is. I mean, he won. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, I guess. But.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate him. He's just, he's
I don't
excited.
Either. Yeah, that's true. Where's I'm up? Oh yeah, the defense. The double screen. They go, it wasn't even orbit motion because he was on the right hand side of the quarterback. They go motion to the running back to draw the defense out that way. They run the lineman out like they're going to block that screen for the running back, and then there's a tunnel screen to Theo Weiss on 3rd and goal from the 13-yard line, and he runs through Caden Wooler, another guy, to score a touchdown. Then in man coverage or lose the tight end on the back end, they scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and then let's be honest, Drew Pine threw one of the biggest ducks of all time, and if Jacoby Johnson doesn't fall, it's either an incompletion or an interception.
That's what I'm saying. Like it all happens in like the worst moments. Like you can't rely on you can't really rely on the defense to close out games anymore. Yeah. I mean, they've been great, but like you needed them to like step up big time. And Jacoby Johnson falling down, like I hate that for him, but like
you can't do that there.
Yeah, you just can't do that. And they did. So
yeah, our two best players on the football team, it seems like. I mean, obviously Danny Stutzman, Billy Bowman, whatever, but Zach Schmidt and Luke Elzinga, dude. Schmidt looked fucking fantastic. I had
6-yarder.
All the confidence in the world before Jackson fumbled that ball. That was a scoop and score. I had all the confidence in the world they were going to get just within his range, and he was going to nail a long kick for the game winner. All the confidence in the world. He's been perfect on the season. He was 6 for 6 coming into this game.
He's been much better.
He's been perfect. He hadn't missed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they focused way too much on the areas that were. It just doesn't. I don't know like what these players are thinking half the time they're on the field. Like, obviously, look, let's just like before we get into like some of the stuff with the offense, the defense, they were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredibly well coached. They got some young players out there. So like Jacoby Johnson's going to make mistakes. Eli Bowen's going to make mistakes. I think they're going to get better. But at the end of the game, like you needed the defense to step up to save the game, and they end up going down the field and tying it.
Yep.
And then you can't trust the offense to just get you down the field just enough to set you.
You can't trust them to get a first down, let alone get 30 yards.
Yeah, I know it's insane. And
also, I've seen everyone talking about it. I know we're talking about the defense, and I'm sorry. Where's Xavier Robinson been? I know you've been hammering the board for Caleb Hicks like fucking crazy. I think he's going to transfer. But where's Xavier Robinson?
He can go ahead now that I know. I mean, like nothing against. I hope he has like a really good career wherever he ends up. And now that like Xavier Robinson's proven, you could see it. Like you know it when you see it. I'm cool with Javonte Barnes coming back and Xavier Robinson. Obviously, they're getting Torrey Blaylock, so hopefully he turns out to be good.
Hopefully, he's a 2026 guy though.
I don't really know with Taylor Tatum. I think I'm out on Taylor Tatum.
Are you?
Yeah.
Xavier
Robinson showed me what I needed to see. Like he knows
that is true.
He knows, like he just has a feel for the game that the other running backs, other like Barnes and him, like have a feel for.
You know, my favorite thing is about those two guys.
He looked like a fucking tank too. He's huge.
The fall forward.
Yeah,
those two guys always fall forward. That's an undeniable thing that you need in any good to great running back is the ability to fall forward.
Yeah. I don't know. This team has been snake bit for a while, and
it feels. And we're going to get into this conversation. We had it.
We'll save that. We'll save that.
No, but the defense. I still think our biggest weakness on defense is the secondary, but I think it's a lack of experience. Like if Gentry Williams was back there, I'd have no problem with them. The lack of experience, and we still can't generate true pass rush. Like our Mason Thomas gets in there. Sometimes.
Well, didn't he have the sack? Didn't he have the?
He did, but like we can't do that consistently. You know what I mean? Like throughout the game. Like he's great. They call him the closer for a reason, right? He can close games. He can get sacks in the fourth quarter. But I don't ever see him on 2nd and 6 when they're trying to take a shot play in the middle of the second quarter. Just doesn't show up. You know what I mean? And we only had, let's say, 3 sacks in the game. So we had 1 from Jaden Jackson. We had a half sack between Caden Woolard and Kobe McKenzie, and then we had the sack from our Mason Thomas.
Well, I guess credit to Drew Pine for getting the ball out.
Yeah. Which, hey, Missouri only had 3 sacks as well.
Yeah.
Offensive line has looked a lot better. Not a lot better. They've looked better.
Yeah, we can go ahead and get to the offense.
I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about the defense, in my opinion. They played their ass off for the majority of the game. 278 total yards allowed. Until it mattered most is when they fell apart. But which feels, and we're going to get into the coach talk, it feels awkwardly undisciplined for what you think you get out of a Venables football team. But, yeah, the offense. I think Logan Hallen and Heath Ozada showed you everything you needed to let them secure the left side of the offensive line the rest of the season going into next year. Being that they stay, obviously.
Yeah, no, I think they will. I think, Hallen, he's corrected some of his mistakes. I don't know. They don't push people. I mean, they just don't.
They don't.
The ball.
They don't.
And Tarquin not being healthy, and unfortunately, you got to roll Spencer Brown out there. I mean, he did what he could. He wasn't as horrible as he had been all season, but it's just still not good enough. And
then he had
there's just no communication on the line. I mean, guys aren't talking to each other. It's just I don't know.
The fourth down, the only fourth down we didn't convert. Funny enough, we were 3 for 4 on fourth downs Saturday. The only one we didn't convert. Spencer Brown is talking about Bauer Sharp right as Jackson snaps the ball, and they get their ass blown in the backfield.
Yeah,
But
but the offensive line, I mean, they generated enough push in the run game. Like Xavier Robinson, he was just seeing it. Maybe that guy should just if Barnes hurt, like you need to rest him because of bye weeks coming up. I mean, I think those are your two backs.
Yeah.
I know that's a big ask for Xavier Robinson, a true freshman.
So they have Alabama and LSU left.
But he's built like an SEC running back, dude. I mean, he's 6'1", 220. I want to say he's 220. I mean, he's pretty big for a true freshman.
Yeah.
Like and he looks natural running the ball. You know what I mean? Like he just looks like a natural. Why is he? I mean, I guess maybe it takes a little time for, true freshmen to kind of get on the field, because you want to develop them and get them in a situation where they can succeed. But I think going forward, he needs the reps. He needs to be able to make this. With the way this offense is, he's probably going to fumble. He's probably going to make some mistakes. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him. But I'd like to see him run the ball more.
On Saturday, he had 9 carries, 56 yards, 6.2 yards per carry, and a log of 10 yards.
It's not eye-popping to see 53 yards, but he didn't come until the fourth quarter.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And really all of that came on one drive.
Yeah. Taylor Tatum, he's getting better his head's getting a little bit better in some areas, but I feel like he just wants the big play too much. Like he wants the big run. He wants, it's just, it'll develop. Like it's just not going to get there because this offense can't.
Yeah. Like these
offensive coaches can't scheme things up properly in some areas.
Yeah. Like there was a couple plays where he had a decent enough hole where it was supposed to be, right on the inside zone, at the count of whatever we ran, but he tried to bounce it outside. Yeah, exactly. He's looking for the big play, the home run shot. But dude, sometimes you just got to pick up 6 yards and live to the next down. You can't sacrifice a 6-yard play for a 3-yard play thinking you're going to make it a 70-yard play. If it's there, you got to take it. Like that's the thing. At this level of football in the SEC, that's another thing that you really can talk to about.
It has to develop.
Quarterback is
like you have to be able to develop. You have to have that game sense to see when it happens.
And there's the thing is in the passing, throwing the ball is the same way. If you take 6, 7, 4, 6, eventually that 20-yarder is going to be there.
Yeah.
Right. You have to gain some positive momentum. It's where you can get the defense a little bit on their heels. Either they make a mistake, or you have a chunk play, or you have something that just breaks. Like you can run inside zone 15 times. That 16th time is going to break wide open.
Yeah.
There's a breaking point for everybody, and it comes. You know what I mean? It's not like you're playing the fucking 85 Bears. Like you have to develop that. And that was the biggest problem going into this is you see them, and it's been the whole season, whether it was Seth Luttrell or Jordan Finley, they call plays that you have to scheme open. They call plays that are what you piggyback off of your main set, right? So you run stretch zone, you run outside zone, stretch 10, 12 times in a game.
You could set up boot.
Then you set up boot. But no, if you look like the Ole Miss game, they did it a couple times. Even did it against Maine, but it worked because it was Maine. They run boot. But it's like you haven't handed the ball off once on outside zone. No one's going to fall for that.
Yeah.
The whole point of running –
it doesn't set up into – like you don't – there's no development of like a game plan like to drive the ball down the field. And it's pretty frustrating, and I think it's hindered our quarterbacks quite a bit. Yeah. So Jackson Arnold, I mean, you just can't fumble the ball.
You can't fumble it yourself.
Yeah. First drive of the game, he fumbles the ball.
Third down.
Second drive, he had that big long run, and it just gets punched out. Good play by the defender, but I mean, it just feels like it's too easy to knock the ball out of his hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it happened. Like, makes you think back to the Tennessee game, right? We caused the fumble. We have the ball inside the 5-yard line.
Shit, you can go back to the Arizona game if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. But he runs it right into a crowd of people, but he doesn't secure the ball tight enough. They just punch it out. It's like if you're going to run into the ass of 15 guys on defense, you might want to tighten up on the ball a little bit if you're going to scramble outside of the pocket, don't hold it at your waist. Keep it up to where you can't knee it out of your own hand. It's simple things, in my opinion. I mean, now I never played quarterback, obviously, but it just feels like it's simple shit that the
You sure you
kid
never
can't
played
get
quarterback?
right. I'm pretty sure in the backyard, maybe, but
Yeah. Little backyard football,
yeah,
Mississippi.
Dude. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, you got sacked a lot, didn't you? You liked it.
I like a lot of sack.
You know, he's broken. The offense is broken.
Everything's broken.
Yeah, no, it's just completely broken. And yeah, no, I mean, I guess everybody's kind of out on him. I'm still not. I think he could be a great player. He needs stability. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks do. I mean, every quarterback needs some sort of stability, unless you're just not. Yeah, situationally, like I mean, this has been all season. He's a disaster waiting to happen, and it sucks. Because that final, I mean, it feels like the entire team is. Because the fake punt past Luke Ozlinka throws it to Bauer Sharp, goes all the way down the field. That was
hurdles
awesome.
Fucking Luther Bird.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like that's like aggressive. Like we're trying to win the game. Delay game backs us up. You have to settle for a field goal. Did we settle for a field goal? Were we still in field goal range?
Mm-hmm.
Probably could have gotten a touchdown. I don't know. Maybe not. But you had a much better chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bauer Sharp should have just tried to score on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I mean, Bauer Sharp is an A+ level athlete. I mean, you can hand it to him on,
against FCS opponents.
On outside fucking I don't even know what you want to call it. It's not a zone read. I don't know what you want to call it. It's not veer.
It's just an end around to the tight end. That's all it is.
The slowest player on your offense.
It's an end around to the tight end.
The slowest skill position player, I should say, on your offense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. The entire team is just an absolute mess. I mean, the defense has played awesome, but there have been and you're going to get points scored on you throughout the season.
Yeah.
Like people are going to scheme stuff on you. That's why it's
level
important.
of play in the SEC, like you.
Yeah.
Complimentary football is one of the hardest things to do, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, he fumbled like in catastrophic areas too.
Yeah.
Like he went to go throw the football, strip sack, scoops it. I mean, there's not an OU player around. Like it was a fumble away from every Oklahoma player that could have recovered it. And
it was in the worst possible spot.
Yeah. My mom texted me. It was like 1:42 left to go in the game, and she still thinks like Oklahoma's what they were like in the 70s and 80s, where I mean they'd be down big, but they'd find a way to win, or they knew how to close out games. They were just such a good program at the time with a very well coached football team that they could close out those games. And so she texted me, and I was praying to God she was ahead of me. Like she was at like the 30-second mark, and they closed it out. And so I'm like sitting there trying to fast forward on my phone, like, no, please.
Yeah.
And then it ended the way that it did. And yeah. So when are you going to strap that bomb to your chest?
I got Friendsgiving this weekend. I don't know. I was this close to fucking doing it Sunday night. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
If the Packers would have played and lost, I definitely would have done it.
Yeah.
I don't know. My uncle was on bomb squad, though, so he probably would have stopped me before I could have done any real damage.
Yeah. Wide receivers, we got a lot of talent there.
Or Deion Burks, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see his family's house burned down too?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I saw that. That sucks for him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Praying for those guys.
100%.
Probably shouldn't play. You just sit those guys. Let them get healthy. Season's done. No reason for them to be out there. We can't scheme anybody open anyway.
Yeah.
And the one time that Deion Burks did get open in the end zone, hey, Jackson, look over here. Clean pocket. You got time to throw. Look at me. Jackson takes off. So, yeah. I don't know where Jackson Arnold's going to end up. If you want to keep him, if you believe in him, you literally have to make the best hire you possibly can.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have to go to the portal and get some offensive linemen too.
Yeah.
Like at this point.
Well, I think you could go into next year, albeit everyone stays, right? That's the big thing here. But I think if you go into next year with Logan Howland, Heath Ozada, Troy Everett, EPL, and Jacob Sexton, I don't think that's a bad offensive line.
It's continuity. I mean, they'll have played another season together. They'll get the reps under their belt. But even
if you go with Fasusi or Foje at right.
Yeah, I think at this point you want to see the 5-star. I mean the diminished. They're going to want to see Fasusi out there. The fans are we'll
only person that wouldn't play him is Bill Bedenbaugh.
Yeah, we'll get into that here in just a minute when we talk about what we're going to talk about at the end. But yeah, wide receivers, like I don't know, those Jacob Jordan should have been playing. Like
one snap, he drops the pass. I know you can't drop it there, but he's been the person that has the most continuity with Jackson. He's been playing arguably the best at receiver.
Well, and that's the thing is that every time a player makes a mistake, like we're so pressed for something that like we're just continuously interchanging.
Possible.
Yeah. And this isn't hyperbole. I think we probably lead all of college football in just interchanging players. Like if they make one simple mistake, they're benched. Like you can't do that. Like I'm sorry, that's not a recipe for success. Like those players, it's going to get in their head. Like you've got to have some confidence. Like it's got to be a confidence booster to be like, hey, we're going to give you another shot to go out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
because he's been playing the best at wide receiver, like in terms of getting open, catching passes. He had one drop.
Yeah, he also got fucking smacked when he dropped it too.
Yeah,
by like
hospital ball.
Yeah, dude. It's like I don't even know, dude. It makes no sense to me. I don't.
Not really much of the Titans, except for Bauer Sharp that had the cool fake punt play.
Yeah, would have been a lot cooler if we didn't immediately shit.
But yeah, no, I saw some growth from Logan Allen. Like,
yeah, he
needs to have like a dirty mindset though. Like he needs to just play with more.
We need maulers out there. He had one like glaring issue, and it was in his technique, like his stance and especially in pass pro. He would drop too wide and let people get inside of him. And it was everyone was doing it to him. And he's cleaned that up, and it's been
well, even on the final play where Jackson Arnold fumbles, like Jackson steps into the pocket, he feels the heat coming, and Howland, he relocate. I mean, like he readjusts himself. It was a clean pocket it wasn't like
perfect.
It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to win you the football game.
Step into and throw. It was good enough. It was more than good enough for the majority of that game.
Yeah. I mean, at least against that team. So where do we go now for quarterback? I mean, like, what do we do? Do we
Joe Craddock and Darian Mensah?
I mean, like for the rest of the season.
Casey Thompson, in my opinion, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You just got to play Jackson.
I don't really feel confident with it. I thought this was going to be a strong suit going into the season. We were lied to because we have shitty, like, what do you even call those? Like, I guess people within the media, like the reporters,
beat
the
writers.
Media. Yeah, beat writers and OU media, just that's how they fool you because they want so desperately to think that everything's going to be fine.
I don't know if it's all that. I mean, they get that information from leaks and people inside the building, but it is part. I mean,
but there's
a lot of it.
There's no skepticism, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's nothing. They spent a week and a half talking about this offensive line might be a problem, and then all of fall camp, all of summer ball, all of fall camp. It's like no, they're winning some days against this defense. This is what you want to see. They're doing good. They're building continuity. That they're not going to be that bad. And then it's just been the worst than we could have ever imagined.
I don't think the staff knew that. I mean, the injuries definitely they play a part. Like injuries have been. I mean, that's what's really snake bit this offense.
I mean, when you didn't have you're 1 and 2 at center for really the first half of the season. You have your top 5 receivers are out. You've been cycling guys through at running back. Your quarterbacks are inconsistent. You've been cycling guys there.
Can't scheme guys open, apparently. That's
Don't
been a
have a difference
major
maker.
problem. These guys don't create separation until, sometimes Deion Burks did, but it just feels like the route concepts. I mean, a lot of guys are running the same route. I mean, you got guys on the same side. They're both running. You're bringing defenders towards each other.
On the final drive where we had to go score a touchdown with 30 seconds left, we're running 3-yard slant routes and getting guys killed like that.
Can we not set up a good screen route? I mean,
yeah, why can't we run screenplays? I don't think we've run a screen all fucking season since Deion got hurt at Tennessee.
Well, because fucking, Oklahoma fans were tired of that. They were pissed off.
I don't give a fuck with the fan. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and we just get back to questioning everything rather than everything has been a disaster. I'm used to it. I feel bad for Oklahoma fans that aren't used to seeing this. Being a Bears fan, this is all I've known is just living in a pit of misery. So, yeah, this is where we're currently at, unfortunately. With the team the way that it's looked this season, I mean, the injuries that have piled up, I mean, obviously that's not a recipe for success, but how did it get to this point where they're so banged up? What are they doing? And
on one side of the ball.
Yeah.
It's been the craziest.
I mean, I feel like it is unlucky, but it feels like the defense is kind of wearing down a little bit too. I mean, Kendall Dolby's injury was just
heartbreaking.
Yeah, that wasn't like a symptom of wear and tear. That was just super unlucky.
Mm-hmm. Gentry Williams is the most injury-prone football player I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I feel like he just gets worn down. How do we keep these players healthy? How can we practice? Is this something they're doing? Are they practicing too hard? I don't know. I can't believe I'm questioning that.
I don't know if it's a training, a recovery issue. Is it a training issue? Is it practice? What? It'd be obviously a much bigger issue or much more if it was the full team, but it's 2 position groups: offensive line and receiver. I've gotten it the worst. And so I don't know. And it's not like they're guys that have been prone to that. Nick Anderson, yes. Jaden Gibson never had an injury problem. He tears his ACL. Jalil Farouk had been healthy and played nonstop throughout his entire career, and then broke his foot, had the foot injury in the offseason, and then broke his foot to start the season. Deion Burks was an Iron Man at Purdue, and then, has a soft tissue injury. It's a hamstring tear, I think, officially for Nick Anderson.
Yeah.
Gavin Sawchuk's had injury issues like a motherfucker anyways. Javonte Barnes obviously had everything last year and then rolled his ankle last week. But I don't know, man. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It does make you start questioning everything, though, top down. It just doesn't make sense. It's not feasible.
Yeah. And it's probably just very unlucky. I mean,
that's probably exactly what it is.
Injuries happen. It just, when you get to this point, you got to start questioning everything because you're what the fuck? That's what you got to do as a fan. You got to find a way to cope. You got to find a way. You need answers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You want answers, but it could be just as simple as it's just incredibly unlucky the way everything. But the offensive line injuries are the ones that have baffled me. Garen Hatchett. Obviously the ACL tear for Troy Everett. I'm glad he healed up as quick as he did.
Mm-hmm.
He looks good to go. The Michael Tarquin, and then all those
Jake
guys.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Jake Taylor's got 17 different fucking injuries at this point. He's hurt in every part of his body.
Well, and same thing with Jacob Sexton. He's been banged up. And the ACL tear, that's just a freak injury, but
yeah.
Man. I don't know. But yeah, no, the clip of Danny Stutzman was that was a heartbreaker. And he basically, when they were asking him like, how do like, have you reached your breaking point? Like, I guess the reporter had asked him like, have you reached your breaking point? Like, how did this loss feel? And he said, I mean, it hurts. It hurts really bad. Like the way that everything happened the way that it did, like it tests your will as a man. Like it makes you question your love for the game. It is what it is, though. You just got to continue to play hard.
Did you see?
I feel bad for that guy because he came back for his senior season, and this is the result of it. And now, like Billy Bowman, same thing with him. Like those guys are wanting to prove, like, hey, we can. They want to prove to NFL franchises that they're high draft picks. Like you should pick them in an early round. Like they're out there fighting and competing. So,
did you see the video of Danny Stutzman singing the alma mater afterwards?
Yeah,
no, just bawling his eyes out, man.
Yeah, I know. And the defense can't play as aggressive because they can't score on offense, so they have to play safe. The stats aren't glaring at you. Like they have to play like a perfect zone coverage. Ethan Downs had one of the best individual plays on Missouri's first drive.
Mm-hmm.
That guy just continues to make plays.
Ethan Downs has worked himself into a possible day 2 pick.
Yeah.
From undrafted, likely not to even be a UDFA, 2 years ago to now, probably a day 2 pick, a day 2 guy.
Who told you that Ethan Downs was going to be like? Because you had said that you didn't think Ethan Downs was going to be a good enough player to get drafted. Who'd you hear that from?
I was just at first. I didn't think he had all the measurables or the pure talent or anything to go that high, but he is outworked just about everybody. And I loved Ethan Downs from start to finish, but his first year or two, I just didn't think he was going to get it.
Yeah,
I just never thought he was going to click.
He's playing good ball. Who's even eligible to come back next year? I mean, like as far as the defense, obviously Stutzman and Bowman are gone. Woody Washington's gone.
Ethan's gone.
Does Dominic Williams get he has another year?
He does. I don't think he comes back though. Dejon Terry, I think's gone. I don't know that Kendall could come back. I think Kendall is a redshirt senior.
Medical.
I don't know if they can get a medical hardship waiver for him though. I would hope so. I would fucking love that with every fiber of my being. Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie, Jaron Canick, Lewis Carter, Sammy Omasigo, those guys will be back. Hassan will be back or can be back.
Okay, so a lot of players are going to be coming back.
Yeah.
But Robert Spears Jennings has played this season, and he can definitely enter his name in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm really interested to see what his draft grade is coming the end of the year.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be. It should be pretty good. He's got all the measurables too. Yeah. Prototypical safety. He's an absolute killer.
And with the way, I mean, you can't if you have a pretty good draft grade, which I don't know how his draft grade's going to look because I mean he didn't really start having an impact until the end of last season.
I think late day 2, early day 3, maybe at best.
Maybe 4th round at best.
Yeah,
just because of the production, the production has been so good this year, but there's not a real body of work for him. But
yeah,
I mean, do you really want a chance coming back with the way that things turned out for, Stutzman and Bowman?
I know.
And so that kind of begs the question.
Unless BB can really fucking talk him into coming back.
Yeah. Well, we should get into that real quick.
If he's back, I'll let you lead this conversation.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but how is that contract extension looking now? I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to hear your thoughts. First of all, I want to say this: BV's one of the most likable guys. He wanted to come and coach here. He has a passion and is trying to establish a culture here of building a long sustained program. And he's a very likable coach. He's a great guy.
He's a hell of a recruiter.
Yeah, hell of a recruiter. I mean, you can recruit at Oklahoma. That's just – you have all the resources to be able to get top 10 recruiting classes. You just do. So it doesn't matter who's Lincoln Riley was ever really to put that together. That was just because he was recruiting offense,
Mm-hmm.
So he got some good recruits on defense. Just you can't develop those guys when you can't get the – yeah. So But yeah, no, I mean, I want him to succeed. So it kind of sucks that his tenure's up the way that it has been. He's 16-12. He went 6-7 his first season, 10-3 the next season. Beating Texas, that's his best win.
I think he's officially, I wrote it down earlier, he's 21-15.
Well, he went 6-10. Yeah, and then 5.
6-10-5. 21, and then 7-3-5.
Yeah.
11-13 in conference.
And of course, SEC's tough. So, like, going into the season with the way that you went into it.
Let me break this down for you. Before this season, what did you think Brent Venables' record versus top 25s would have been?
Against top 25?
Yeah, think about 22 and 23. What, in your mind, what do you think his top 25 or his record against top 25 teams would have been?
I would have guessed he would have had at least 3 wins because I know Texas is one. I don't remember if Kansas was ranked when we played them in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kansas might have been. They were ranked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Kansas. And then I'm trying to think. Nebraska was not ranked.
Mm-mm.
Was Oklahoma State ranked?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3. Yeah, I would have guessed 3 top 25 wins.
Yeah, he was 3-2 against top 25 teams. His 2 losses in 22 and 23 were both bowl games. Florida State, who was 13th, and Arizona, who was 14th or 15th.
And that was in the first 2 seasons.
I was in 22 and 23. He's gone from 3-2 to 3-6. He has lost 5 straight top 25 games. Arizona, Tennessee, Texas, Ole Miss, Missouri. 5 straight.
Missouri is going to be the 4th one. I mean, that was probably going to be your best chance at winning another one. He's got to win against a top 3 opponent. But
what'd that do for you?
Yeah.
Bottom of year. If he loses to Texas last year and he's 0-3 against Texas and then shits the bed this year, he's gone already. That Texas win last year bought him another year.
How are we feeling?
So immediately following Saturday, I was at my lowest and I was ready just to be done with it. The biggest indictment to me on Brent Venables, and it's such a glaring issue, and coming from a Brent Venables coach team, it'd be the last thing you'd think about would be an issue. You could think they could lack talent, they could lack experience, they could just lack explosiveness, anything under the sun. But if you told me the number one problem with the Brent Venables team is that they're undisciplined, I would have lost my mind. And that's where I was at Saturday night. The fumbles, the dumb penalties, the giving up plays, the worst inopportune times.
Yeah,
the defensive holding was absolute bullshit.
That was a horseshit call.
And people were talking about the Utah BYU one. That one wasn't as bad. He got him around the shoulder pad and pulled him down. It was bad. It was bad. Don't get me wrong.
That AD was he was not happy.
No, and I fully understand. But the inexperienced or the undisciplined play to me is the most glaring problem with the Brent Venables coach team. And it is honestly the last thing I thought that was going to be an issue at all in his tenure. We were stoked when Brent Venables got hired. At that time, I couldn't comprehend the fact that we'd be having this conversation right now. Hindsight's always 20/20. We should have hired Dan Lanning, dude.
He was Brent Venables was number 1 on my big board to hire, and then it was Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
So those are my 2.
And Brent Venables was the right decision. Obviously, right now it looks dire. But you think about it. Lincoln Riley up and leaves Oklahoma in the dust, dead, takes everything with him. There's nobody better to hire than the person that Oklahoma fans wanted in the first place. The guy that everyone loves. The guy that we wanted to take over for Stoops outside of Heupel. The guy we wanted to take over for Stoops It was the perfect storybook. It wrote itself. The story wrote itself. The guy up and leaves. We bring home the prodigal son, saves the program, right? It looked bad in season 1. You give him that. Lincoln took everything. He's rebuilding. It's bad. He brings in DG. They're stabilizing the program. You go 10-3 next season 2. Everything is perfect. You hand the keys over to the 5-star blue chip quarterback. You let the offensive coordinator go somewhere else. He did his job. He helped you steer things right. He gets a head coaching job in the SEC. The defense has taken a jump from year 1 to year 2, and they take an even bigger jump into year 3. Everything, injuries aside, everything lined up perfectly for this to be a big season for Oklahoma. Yeah, I get it. The schedule is one of the hardest we've ever seen.
I mean, for Oklahoma fans, yeah, but
well, yeah, for Oklahoma fans, it did.
I think a lot of people had them going 7-5, 6-6.
Yeah. But like I said,
we didn't
Saturday night. If we recorded this Saturday night, I was done and ready to get rid of Brent Venables. But there's something in my soul that keeps telling me, if you get an offensive line that can play serviceable football in continuity, if you get an offensive line that can stay together and play serviceable to good football for 12 games, you get a quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator in there, and a quarterback that's not going to shit down his leg, I think this thing can be really good. And I think Brent can turn this thing around. But there's just so many ifs. But also the other side of it is year 1 sucked, right? Obviously, year 1 blew ass. This is not what anyone wanted. But if you tear it down, you're just setting yourself back. Now you might set yourself back in the immediate and come out way better than you ever were going to be.
I don't really know if you do.
I feel like you do, man. I don't know. And
Depends on who you hire. I mean, you've got the recruits, you've got the talent.
That's if you can hold on to them, though.
It's a successful program.
That's if you can hold on to them, though. And I'm not the one that's going to say you keep a coach just for recruits. But I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't want to move on because I do love Brent Venables to death, and I don't want this to be the way it goes. But sometimes it's just you just got to bite the bullet, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, and it might not even be because of like sometimes it just has to happen for the better of both. Like,
yeah,
for the better of Oklahoma and just for the better of Brent Venables. Maybe he goes on and becomes a defensive coordinator somewhere else, and then he gets another shot and has a redemption like Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I don't know, man. There's a
honestly in my mind
program right now. I think it's bigger than just coaching. Just
well,
are we sure Joe sees? I mean, Patty Gasso, he caught lightning in a bottle with 2 coaches.
Bob and Patty. I don't know.
Texas is pretty good. I mean, their AD that they hired from TCU, he's done good in a lot of areas. He might have caught lightning in a bottle. I mean, it's not that he's done horrible job. I don't know. The thing we used to make fun of other teams about was administration issues.
Well, he hired Jimmy.
I'm not saying that there are.
He's a fantastic coach.
Yeah. No, he's
and Skip Johnson. I mean, Skip Johnson's a hell of a coach.
We'll see what happens there.
I think Skip Johnson's a fucking hell of a coach.
Yeah, the team's looked great since their World Series run, right? I mean, they're winning games. I mean, they're making College World Series, but not really doing shit afterwards.
I mean, I think they did better than I expected them to last year.
Yeah, you're right.
Oklahoma's baseball program is like
OU media just will hype everything to the core.
That's part of it, but I think OU baseball and men's basketball, to be really honest, is kind of like Ole Miss in football, where you build for a season. You build for a certain year to go give it your best shot.
It just feels like the culture isn't. I don't know. A lot of people will probably tell me, no, the culture is great for football. And I would probably agree. I mean, that all those players are bought in. They all like each other. Mm-hmm. Like, they're all building camaraderie. Yeah, they're all
on the inside yet.
I don't know. I'm sure the defense is it has kind of fallen apart a little bit. Seth Luttrell gets fired.
I guess that's fair.
Firing a coordinator. I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So, and now there's just going to be so much on his shoulders, like boosters and donors that are throwing money into the program. Like if you keep preventables around, it's basically, here's 30 million.
Mm-hmm.
If you could scrounge up that much. I mean, I don't know where our NIL program is. I know it's like top 5 in the country from what all the articles that I've read. I don't even know if those are reliable sources. I just believe anything. So I'm gullible.
I mean, you believe in Oklahoma and you believe in Chicago, both the Bears and the Cubs. So apparently.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Here's 20 million. Go get the best offensive coach. Go get the best. It's probably going to have to be an Ole Miss situation. It's just a bunch of transfer portal guys.
You got to buy your way.
He brought in a lot of transfer portal guys last year, and they won a lot of games.
Yeah.
College football is just different now. It's the NFL. I mean, it's the NFL. Like
especially the SEC. The SEC
you pay for play basically. So, which is unfortunate, but boosters and donors are probably looking at the situation like, do we really want to go through another year? Like, do we want to chance it? And I know
players are too.
Huh?
So players are going to look at it that way too. Like your Robert Spears Jennings, like you were talking about, are they really going to want to buckle up and buy into another season when they can probably go do just fine in the NFL?
Yeah. Exactly. Unless you could hire an offensive coordinator. And I mean, I don't know though, because the team is just super undisciplined. Like I don't trust them to continue to make, like they're going to continue to make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want it to work out, but he'll get another year. The president already came out and said, that's our guy. That's our coach. We believe in him and what he's doing. So he's going to get another year, but
last year, if it doesn't go well, he's
yeah. If it didn't go well last year, then it's for sure like done. And maybe they see like maybe it's injuries. Maybe it is like who knows if these guys are healthy and they bring in a really good offensive coordinator and play caller that can scheme this Oklahoma offense to being successful. Then,
I agree. You got any other thoughts on OU? As depressing as this is, I think it's the saddest.
No, we should go ahead and move on.
Yeah, this is just depressing.
Yeah.
It's rolling on the screen right now. Ole Miss, Georgia, dude. Like that wasn't fluky at all.
Yeah, no. You couldn't have asked for a worse start for Ole Miss either.
I know. Like
you go out there, Georgia's defense is just flying around. Your quarterback gets hurt. He fucks up his ankle. And then the very next play, he throws an interception. Georgia takes it, runs the ball down their throat and scores. It's like, Georgia is Georgia. That's just kind of how it felt in the first 5 minutes of the game. Georgia's inevitable. They can turn it on whenever they want. And then Austin Simmons, first drive, he looked good too.
He did.
He looked good. He looked calm in the pocket. He was delivering the ball accurately. He drove him down the field. They scored a touchdown. Ole Miss just has playmakers everywhere. Like this is the team that we expected them, or that everybody in the country expected them to be. Like they just should be unstoppable with all their transfer portal guys and the guys they had recruited. And Jackson Dart goes back out there. I mean, what was the final score? 25-10.
28-10.
28-10. It didn't feel that close.
No, it did not.
Because after that, Georgia could not do anything on offense. I mean, even when they had a big play, it was just a drive killer after drive killer.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on with Carson Beck. If you would have told me that Carson Beck was going to be a bottom 5 SEC quarterback going into this season, I would have thought that everybody got injured. Same thing with Oklahoma, and they fired their offensive coordinator before the season started because of allegations. I mean,
it's crazy how he went from maybe the number 1 quarterback in the country to
is he going to get drafted?
Draftable? Like it's
he's got all the tools.
He's got everything he needs.
Yeah. But
I mean, when you're, eventually though, if you really think about it, when you look that much like Sid the Sloth, it's got to catch up to you at some point.
Well,
right?
and his offense isn't doing him much favors. His offensive line is good, but guys, it's the same problem that we see with a lot of teams. Guys just aren't schemed open, and when they are, I mean, he can't deliver the ball accurately every time. So I don't understand why they can't scheme guys open. They've got 3 good tight ends. They got Delp, they got Bell, Lucky,
yeah,
they got Arian Smith.
We got fucking Bauer Sharp, dude, and Jake Roberts.
Yeah. So I couldn't tell you like what's going on there. Now Kirby Smart's and the player that was celebrating with the Ole Miss, and Kirby Smart came out and was just like, "What an idiot!"
Yeah. Oh man,
that guy does not give a shit what he says.
No,
he can kind of say whatever he wants. He's won the 2 national titles.
Yeah, he's got full.
Not very many SEC titles though.
No, not very many wins against Alabama.
Like he's won 2 national titles, but he hasn't done a great job at winning SEC titles. He's won 1, 2, 1 SEC title. He won one in 2017. Because remember Auburn beat him, they got to rematch him and they won.
That's right.
And then he did win another one the second year he won a national title.
Yeah. The year they beat
basically
GCU.
Yeah, you're right too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It was
better start funneling that NIL money.
Yeah, fuck I know.
So
keep their fucking players off the streets too.
Yeah.
Not selling drugs, just racing.
That I don't understand how that continues to be a problem. Like you think they would have had that buckled down.
And apparently they've had people come in and talk to these guys and
I know
just won't stop fucking racing.
They don't give a shit.
No. It's just insane to me.
Like they've tried.
Like at some point he's got to call like the local Dodge dealer and be like, "Can you stop fucking selling them cars?"
Yeah,
please?
I know, right?
Like he's got to call like the Honda dealer and be like, "They get HRVs and fucking
GPS
Odysseys.
trackers in their cars." Like, hey, if it's past 8:00, just shut the fucking car off. They need that first rate auto.
Yeah, the credit driver plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand, but like that was just kind of a funny moment. Like the Georgia, apparently that he went to school with that guy, like high school, and he was just celebrating with him, like, "Hey, I'm happy."
Yeah. Was it high school or did he go to Alabama with him? Because he was an Alabama transfer, I think.
I don't know. That's probably not something you should do though after you lose a game.
No, it's not something you should do. You shouldn't be dancing with him, even if
knowing your head
if you
coach.
win the game, I guess it looks a little better. Well, just knowing the situation, like that's where he's like, that's just stupid. Like you can't. Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at the remaining schedule for both of these teams. So Georgia has Tennessee next week. Mm-hmm. Now it's going to be in Athens. So tough place to play.
Yeah.
Going up against a pretty good Tennessee defense. They are very confident in what they can do. And that offense is starting to hum again.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even close. Who they beat the shit out of? Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Which I called it, by the way. Spread eagle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just Georgia's back's kind of against the wall because they have to win this game because you got Massachusetts and Georgia Tech coming up.
Yeah, it's their last shot to sniff a playoff.
Yeah, and they will sniff a playoff if they win out the rest of the season.
Oh yeah.
And then for Ole Miss, they get a bye next week.
Mm-hmm.
So Oklahoma and Ole Miss are on byes next week. But then they've got Florida
Mississippi State
in Gainesville.
Yeah.
And then Mississippi State.
Or Mississippi
They're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're going to make the playoffs now. After that Jackson Dart got to win out.
Yeah.
They've been firing all cylinders. So, and Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, 0-4 against top 5 SEC opponents or top 10 opponents. He finally got that big win. So shout out Lane Kiffin. He was kind of mean to Molly McGrath.
He was.
Yeah.
Kiffin's, I feel like sometimes Kiffin's just a dickhead.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it perfectly suits Kiffin. Like, I kind of
It
like
does.
that about him.
It
So,
does.
like, but be nicer to Molly McGrath.
I agree.
She's just doing her job. And she's a beautiful young lady, and she doesn't deserve that. But we also, like, we need to talk about this. There is a phenomenon going on right now. I don't know if this, I get easily duped. I'm the most gullible person on the planet. There is a phenomenon going on with SEC quarterbacks right now. And DMing girls on Instagram to see their butthole. We got one
We've
from,
all done that, right?
well, it started with Carson Beck when he sent the Snapchat what was it, a year ago?
Yeah.
Like, let me see your pussy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Quinn Ewers. Marcel Reed. I mean, is this like? I want to know if I'm not being duped. This is incredible. Like so with Quinn Ewers, yeah, he apparently messaged a girl and he said just one please, just a pic, not even a bid, because I want to see your pussy. And then today, Audrey, just one. Why? Why though? Why can't you send one? Why though? Just one. Fine, whatever. Booty. And she messages back, okay. Sends a photo, and then he says, take it off. And then Marcel Reed.
Oh man, it's so good.
I gotta find the Marcel Reed one. Marcel Reed. Girl messages him, oh, just let me know, baby. And he says, you already know, hun. She said, what are you doing? He said, trying to see that ass. Not gonna lie. She said, ready. He says, yes, please. Or yes, really, please, baby. Can I get a peek? She sends a photo. He says, oh my God, baby, you make me so horny. I guess it's a good thing that these SEC quarterbacks are horny, means they're healthy, right?
Yeah, maybe Jackson Arnold needs to come out with something.
Yeah, he's a girlfriend.
Maybe they just need to leak their chats.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm surprised Jackson Dart hasn't done one. I feel like he seems like a Ole Miss quarterbacks always look like dirt bags, right? Yeah. So like you feel like he would be the guy that you would see. But yeah, no, there is a phenomenon going on with SEC quarterbacks, and it's hilarious.
Maybe he just comes with winners, dude.
Does Nico? I mean, are we going to see Nico next? I can't imagine Nico.
What if it's like just a ritual among SEC quarterbacks? Like, what if in a couple of years we see like Mac Jones and Bryce Young?
I can't imagine Bryce Young.
Like, I don't know, man. He was smiling this weekend. We'll get into it.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for him.
He might be renewed.
We need to guess the next SEC quarterback that is going to partake in this ritual.
Can't be an OU guy. Brent Venables doesn't allow those types of guys on campus.
Trying to think of SEC quarterbacks. Nico.
Could be Nico.
Arch Manning?
It's got to – I don't know. I think the Mannings have trained him too well on PR.
Yeah, media training.
Yeah.
What a fucking – Come on, Arch.
DJ Lagway, maybe?
I could see DJ Lagway.
Yeah,
he seems like a good kid, but
he does. But hey, man, everyone's got a little bit of
well, and then you see the videos of like people in Gainesville asking, like, would you sleep with the Florida quarterback? They're asking, like, the Florida girls said, "Oh, I would fuck DJ Lagway in a minute."
Yeah.
So
that's gotta be a tough thing to turn down, dude. When you're balling at that age, man.
Yeah. DJ Lagway, whoever the Mississippi State quarterback is going to be potentially.
Probably.
Diego Pavia.
Diego Pavia doesn't even have to ask. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia just opens his phone and it's all there for him.
By the way, he was denied.
I saw that.
Yeah. So not another year of eligibility, unfortunately.
Sucks, dude.
But Ole Miss has kind of turned the page. Now they're playing with tons of confidence. They need to figure out JJ McGee. That was not a good injury to have a shoulder and neck. Looked like a stinger. Walter Nolan ran right into him. But Harris is going to come back. Watkins, all those guys. I mean, they're incredible. They're the best passing attack in the SEC right now. I'd put them over Texas in terms of just explosive plays.
Yeah.
And Texas, they got guys everywhere. Those are the two teams that, I mean, they can just strangle you. And then
Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers might be the next one.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe Lenore Sellers.
Maybe.
I would see more Connor Wegman more than Marcel Reed.
I don't. Yeah.
Anyways.
But anyways.
So yeah, Ole Miss, you turn the page. You gotta establish something this season. Maybe they can make an SEC championship. Again, a lot of these guys are transfer portal players. Maybe they go to the NFL next season.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how it looks going forward. But right now, they are a good football team.
They are.
In Michigan, kind of facing the same problem where their defense is good, but their offense, I mean, they can't throw the ball. They can't do anything right. Mm-hmm. They scored in the fourth quarter, but Indiana was able to hold off there. Yeah. They are, well, I mean, there's still 9 minutes left to go. But it felt like it took everything. Like jeopardy. Yeah, it took everything for them to gain a yard. It looked so hard for them to get in the field goal range. So, yeah, Indiana's 10-0. This is the first time in program history.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, it was their first time to ever get 9 wins last week, so everything's a first at this point.
Yeah. Shout out Kirk Signetti.
So you head coach? Wouldn't hit it.
I'm honest at this point. If I'm down for it. Like, Google him. He wins.
He does.
So, I mean, we'll definitely see there. Oregon, I mean, Oregon's Oregon. They're just incredible. They're firing on all cylinders. They're the number one team in the country, and they should be.
Yeah, 100%. Which also want to get into Georgia Tech. They're just I mean, don't be undefeated or a top 5 team and expect to beat Georgia Tech. I mean, it's just not likely it's going to happen.
I don't know what it feels like this team, like they're just with Miami. So first of all, shout out to Georgia Tech. The defense was awesome. I hope their linebacker's okay. That is peak linebacker physique. 100%. You may not like it, but that is what a linebacker is supposed to look like.
That's peak male form.
Okay. Yeah, peak linebacker form for sure. Philo, their freshman quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the one throwing the ball. I mean, he made some big time throws in that game when they needed it on third down.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they had a package. They basically had a plan. Hey, we're going to run the ball with Hayes or with Haynes King, and then when we need a big time throw on third down to keep the drive going, you bring in Philo.
It was the most perfect use of a 2 quarterback system I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's up there. I don't know if I would put it. Yeah, I mean, it's up there. But to beat Miami, the number 4 team in the country, at home, I like Key a lot as a head coach. I mean, he's got these guys believing. And Miami, like, it almost looked like they were going to have another miracle comeback. But shout out to their defense. They played hard. They did what they needed to do. They forced the fumble at the end of the game. They pick up the first down. We texted each other and said they need to go for the first down, not the field goal. They did. Yep. They played to win at the end. And Miami, I don't know what they were trying to do on offense. Like, it just felt like they were trying to get too creative. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward wants to look for the big play. Run for the first down. Pick up the hard yards. Like, that's kind of been their identity. Flashy, explosive,
Yeah.
And I like that they have an identity, but
call me a no fun football fan, but I think it's better to win the football game than to look cool fucking losing. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, all things are eyeing up for a Miami SMU ACC championship game, and I'm pretty fucking stoked for it.
I don't know. I think Miami's backs are against the wall. I think they're going to come out and play really good like the rest of the way, to be honest. I think.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to be lights out.
Yeah. I mean, their defense is probably going to buckle up. It's like, hey, you finally tasted defeat when you probably should have against Virginia Tech, and that was too close for comfort most of the game against Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for them to make the ACC championship, they're going to need Pitt to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're third right
Because
now.
it's SMU's first then, and then Pitt is second, right?
Yeah.
Because SMU beat Pitt.
So they basically need Clemson to beat Pitt.
Yeah, which I don't know.
Yeah. Or they would need SMU to lose. What is SMU ranked right now? Brett Lashley.
13.
That's a good coach, man.
It is.
It is a good coach. They're 8-1.
Pitt's 3-2. It's SMU Clemson.
So they need
Clemson's 6-1 in conference. They need Pitt to beat Clemson.
Who else did Pitt lose to?
They lost to SMU and Virginia. They lost this past weekend as well. Kind of like the whole Iowa State thing. They just lost and
Pitt was Pitt kind of overhyped?
Yeah, probably.
They played very good to start the season. Did they get some injuries? Like, were there injuries that took place? I mean,
I don't know.
I need to know more. Like, I don't want to think this Pitt team was just overrated. You know what I mean? It's hard to win a lot of football games. It's hard to go undefeated.
I'm trying to see if they've had any.
I don't think there's any other undefeated teams other than Indiana
and Oregon.
Yeah, Indiana and Oregon. That's it. Big Ten country. But yeah, no, Miami, got to just hope for a miracle. Pitt's got to either SMU has to lose another game or Pitt's got to beat Clemson. But I'd like to see SMU.
Yeah, no, it would have to be Pitt because Pitt is Clemson's last conference game.
Yeah.
SMU, I don't think has – no, they do. They do. Yeah. They have 2 more conference games.
So
3. Damn.
Yeah, back against the wall now.
SMU's got Boston College, Virginia, and Cal. That seems that seems quite okay.
Well, and it sucks for Cam Ward because I felt like their offense did what they needed to do for the most part. I mean, they weren't great on either side of the ball. Yeah. Cam Ward played, except he still played fucking awesome. He just had the fumble, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't have that there, but. Credit to the back end and credit to the secondary or the coverage part of Georgia Tech's defense at the end of the game. But yeah, I know they had like the explosive drive where it looked like they were going to start coming back.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was like, "Fuck, man, really? They're really going to ruin this fun?" And then,
Mario Cristobal.
Mario Cristobal blowing it when it matters, dude.
Yeah.
Couldn't be.
He's a coach. Sounds like a Miami club DJ name. Miami's been great this season though. I thought they'd be a good team and they have been. They've won a bunch of games.
Yeah.
So he's fixed. It didn't feel like they made too many catastrophic mistakes. So like the defense just gave up. Like they were just getting, bully balled basically.
Yeah.
The big catastrophic mistake for them was Cam Ward getting sacked. In the red zone, and then obviously the fumble, but it wasn't like critical mistakes that we've seen from our Oklahoma team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's cleaned up some of those mistakes. Like he's cleaned up some of the.
Well, that was part of the reason why, like Washington State fell off so bad last year, is they started so hot and then they just kept playing just bad mistake-prone football.
Yeah, there's just critical error after critical error.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was an awesome win. I'm happy for Rick Key, and I'm happy for those fans.
I am as well.
That's you could rush the field on a win like that.
Yes, 100%. 1,000%.
I love field storming. I love field storming so much.
Also the Ole Miss one I felt was pretty warranted.
Yeah, I think so too. Were you probably the better team going in? Yes, you've been playing better football, but you hadn't had a big time win under Kiffin's tenure.
Yeah, 100%.
And they were still the number 3 ranked team in the country.
Yeah, they were a team. They were a top 5 team or top 3 team. I don't think they had beaten them in a while, I want to say. So it's like a program defining win.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this thing really, truly is heading in the right direction.
Talk about a program-defining win. For me, Army beating North Texas 14-3. You weren't really getting. I think North Texas's defense was playing very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting pounded in the trenches. Like Army's offensive line was moving guys, and then they buckled up.
I gotta pull up my favorite stat of the weekend. You keep going. I gotta pull it up here.
23 play. They had a 23 play drive that took 13 minutes off the clock.
And then that was my favorite one. They did that. It was 21 plays, 94 yards, 13 minutes and 54 seconds, and then 3 and out.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was a 3 and out, 21 plays in 13 minutes and 54 seconds, and then a pick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, Chandler Morris did not play well. He was that Army team. I mean, they played tough football. I mean, I really wanted to go to that game. I wish I would have. I
am proud to send these dudes to whatever country we want them to go. For sure.
100%.
I don't even want to give them guns. Just let them run the triple option in the middle of wherever. Put them in the middle of Moscow and just let them start running people over. Cool with it. I think they'll do fine.
BYU survives the Holy War.
That was almost a holy shit war.
Got scared. I was scary there for a second, but
yeah,
they're 9-0. Oh, they're another undefeated team. They're 9-0. They got the game-winning field goal. So shout out to them. Tough to play. It's tough to win at that place. So
yeah, Rice Eccles is a hard place to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a really funny DraftKings prize picks. Basically like a funny DraftKings prize picks. I guess like over on yards. Ashton Gentee's over on yards for prize picks for rushing yards was 180 for him to get the over. It was 180.
Fuck.
It's crazy that guy, he still got his 209
yards. Yeah, let's say he still got it. He had over 200 yards.
But me and Brasher were looking at it. We were like, damn, like this guy's that fucking good.
Did you take it?
I told him, I was like, take that. Like he's going to
take that. So
Penn State, nice bounce back win. They absolutely beat the shit out of Washington. Drew Aller looked really good.
Notre Dame beat the fuck out of Florida State.
Yeah, so Florida State, they fired their offensive coordinator / O-line coach, defensive coordinator as well. Yeah, so change needed to happen. Mike Norvell, I mean, he's going to have to – it's going to have to be the same situation as Brent Venables where your coordinators are going to have to be slam dunk hires.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to have to hire a new wide receivers coach because you bring in that talent. I know the quarterback play hasn't been good, but you can't scheme guys open. I mean, I don't know. They got to figure it out next season. And Norvell's going to get another shot.
Mm-hmm. And he deserves it.
My dog of the week.
Hell of a pick by you. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
That was
dog of the week. Rocco Beck played good too. I mean, like in the fourth quarter, I mean, he had the pass to Jalen Jackson. I mean, it was a good throw. He had Jalen Knoll, your guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he was throwing darts in the fourth quarter.
Well, here's the thing. If you would have told me Saturday morning that Iowa State scored, 36 points?
Yeah.
I'd have told you they won by 10, 15 points.
No, dude. Jalen Daniels was having his way with Iowa State in the first half. And he did whatever he wanted. Devin Neal. That guy's a senior? Damn it. That'd be nice to have him with us.
I know.
Ohio State buries Purdue. I mean, 45-0. Will Howard looked good. Jeremiah Smith is incredible. Shocker there.
Yeah.
You give a contract extension to Billy Napier, and the result that happened on Saturday. Yikes! Now they're on their third string quarterback.
They were.
He's not a very good football player. I mean, unfortunately for him, I feel bad that he was thrown in that situation. Texas is a very good football team.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they have DJ Lagway, it's not much better. And their defense played as good as they possibly could. I mean, first quarter it's 14-0, and I mean they're trying, they are doing whatever they can. But Quinn Ewers is dicing him up. He had 333 yards, 5 touchdowns, amazing performance by him, just throwing it to everybody that he possibly could.
Looked easy.
Yeah, it looked
easy,
very easy. I just turned the game off. I was like, this game's over.
I never turned it on. I checked the score, and I was like, oh, that's –
well, I kind of had them as like, hey, this could be a potential trap game depending on what DJ Lagway's status is. And when they said he wasn't good to go, I was like, I kind of wanted to see what this looks like.
Yeah.
Didn't look great. Let's get to the last game. Alabama LSU.
Are you sure LSU showed up for that one? Mike the Tiger did. They had some Tiger. That was not Mike.
Yeah.
Liars.
Jalen Milroe. I mean, you could basically make the argument that he's probably the second quarterback taken in next year's draft, right? Like his ceiling. Yeah. If you could develop as a passer.
I think he's
how funny would it be if the Ravens just drafted him and said, let's see how good Todd
just him, fucking Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry all in the same backfield.
Dude, I mean,
Jalen Milroe is what the Colts desperately wanted Anthony Richardson to be.
Well, Jalen Milroe is just he's huge. I mean, he's not as tall as he's not as tall, but he's 6'3", 225. There's no way he's 225. He's got to be at least 245. He looks massive on the field.
He's a linebacker, dude.
He's so fast, dude.
I know.
Oh, he looks like an edge rusher. I mean,
yeah.
Like he is. Where does Bama find these guys? He didn't have to throw the ball; they just ran it. I mean, that's the fear that I had for LSU. Like they struggled against mobile quarterbacks, and what happens when they play the best mobile quarterback? Huh?
Mobile quarterbacks, you say?
Yeah,
we got a couple of those. No, they fumbled the ball.
Well, yeah, maybe you put. I think that's a good point. Maybe you put Michael Hawkins out there against LSU.
Okay, hold on. I just want to read off the fucking the touchdown chart. So let's see. Let me get it pulled up. Sorry, give me a second. So you had a Jalen Milroe 10-yard touchdown run, right? You had a Jalen Milroe.
Well, that was like in the second quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah. You had a Jalen Milroe 39-yard touchdown run. That's to start the game.
He looked so bad. He made a cut on that run. That guy, he's incredible.
Let's see. That's the Justin Haynes 1-yard touchdown run. Let's see this one. Jalen Milroe 19-yard touchdown run.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Milroe 72-yard touchdown run. That's Richard Young for 8 yards. That's the end of the game. So Jalen Milroe finished with, let's see.
He's 12 of 18, 109 yards passing.
But he had as many rush attempts as he had completed passes. But he was 12 for 185, 2 touchdowns, long as 72. And averaged 15.4 yards per carry.
He had 4 touchdown runs.
What did I say?
You said 2.
Oh.
Because you said you ran out the 39-yard, the 10-yard.
Yeah.
The 72-yarder, and then you said 20-yarder or 19-yarder?
Yeah. That's 4. I think I said he had 12 for 185 with long as 72. I forgot the touchdowns. That's what happened. My bad. Still, unfucking insane.
What?
Is he the new Cam Newton? Are we giving him that status? I mean, he's not as game-changing, I don't think. Cam willed that Auburn team to a national title, and they were not that good.
Yeah. I think he's a little faster than Cam Newton, but Cam Newton was just different breed.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Cam Newton was
a different breed. Like he was people forget how good he was in the NFL during his prime. He only had one game.
Mike Allstott at quarterback, dude.
Yeah. He only had one game where he threw for 400 yards, I think. It was his very first game. After he didn't have to. He could just run. He was like, oh, I can do this. Like, I can throw the ball and run the ball.
Cam Newton was one of the very few times you can look and be like, no, he's actually in the NFL a better athlete than anybody else.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen that often.
Yeah. He was damn good. But Jalen Milroe, he's going to get a shot in the NFL. He's going to be drafted. It'll probably be second or third round. There's going to be things that's like, hey, things aren't going well with our current The Colts, that'd be funny.
It would be objectively hilarious.
Maybe trying to think of another team that could.
Browns?
I don't think it would work with the Browns. The Vikings? Because you got JJ
No,
McCarthy, but
JJ.
it's like JJ's your guy going forward, but we've seen it happen with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy.
You know where I think you send them?
San Francisco. That'd be crazy.
It would be insane. But
I think he'd fit just right in that offense too.
Seattle.
He wants a passing quarterback. I know Kyle Shanahan wants a guy that can throw the ball. He can. He could throw the ball. Just develop him.
It'd be insane to have him and Deebo Samuel running like speed option.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. Where do you think he should go?
Seattle.
Mm.
Him and DK on the field together, man. I can see it. I mean, he doesn't fit that offense at all. I just think it'd be hilarious.
Unless you want to make him a running back or a wide receiver.
They got Kenneth Walker, man.
Yeah.
Seattle needs a pure passer. Seattle needs like a.
Yeah, so Kalen DeBoer survives the torture that he would have faced from Bama fans had he lost that game.
Yeah.
Bama was impressive, dude. Their defense looked really good. That's a powerful LSU offense. I mean, Nussmeier,
especially through the air,
looked like he was seeing ghosts. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they only scored 13 points, and they're a team that can score way more than that.
Yeah, Nussmeier kind of reverted back to a lot of what people thought he was with the problems. Now, he's been a good quarterback.
I never saw problems with him. Really. This is kind of the first time where I watched where I was like, wow. Because every other game he's played, it's like he'll have a catastrophic interception, but he's going to score points, you know?
And that was the thing. It's like the decision-making at times was always, in my opinion, one of the bigger issues with him. But that pick he threw was bad.
Yeah, no, that was not a good.
But I don't know.
They had 22 first downs and 13 points.
That's insane, dude.
Bama had 23 and 42 points.
Absolutely insane. I don't understand. I do understand.
LSU's out of the playoff picture. Bama survives. Mm-hmm. LSU will now play Vanderbilt. That's in Tiger State. Their last two home games. I mean, they've got Florida next. So they play Florida on the 16th, so this coming weekend. Mm-hmm. It's in Gainesville. Then they get their last two home games against Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. They're going to win all three of those games. Yeah. So they're still going to make a bowl game. But with Brian Kelly, I mean, you brought him in because you thought what he did with Notre Dame, like you give him better access to recruits and what LSU's in the upper echelon of like athletic facilities, getting the best recruits in the country, and you have all the resources. It kind of feels like at this next season, like he can't lose 3 games again.
They fell to 22nd, dude.
Yeah.
In the college football playoff.
He's lost. And it's hard. Like it's the SEC. Like the LSU is not like they'll have like a lightning in a bottle season, you know, where they'll have like the best team that goes undefeated and wins a national championship.
2019.
Before that, 2004?
Yeah.
And then 2011, where they probably should have, or 2010, where they should have won the national championship because they beat Bama that year, and then Bama gets their revenge.
Yeah.
Les Miles.
Yep.
But they kind of brought Brian Kelly in because it's like, hey, we're tired of having a revolving door of coaches and like not having like a stable, you know, program. But it just kind of feels like that's LSU's, you know, that's their MO, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes going forward. They should just bring back Coach O.
I agree.
Also, shout out Colorado. They handled Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And they're a good football team.
The new college ball playoff ranking. Yeah. The new college ball playoff rankings are out. Let me go through this real quick. Oregon at 1, 10-0. Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, Indiana and BYU at 5 and 6. Then you got Tennessee, Notre Dame, Miami 7, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, and 12 is Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia.
You cowards put Boise State ahead of Miami.
13 is Boise State, so they'd be your group of 5 team. So then it would be Oregon through Ole Miss plus beat Boise State, so Georgia would be first team out. You got SMU at 14, Texas A&M, K-State, Colorado, 15, 16, 17. Washington State at 18. Excuse me. Louisville, Clemson, South Carolina, 19, 20, 21. LSU, Missouri, Army, and Tulane to round out your top 25.
I can't, for the life of me, figure out how Indiana is behind Penn State. I'm sorry. Like, I know they're roster-wise, they're not as deep as what Penn State is, but let me ask you something. If Penn State were to play Indiana, who would you take in that game? Is it going to depend on – is like on a neutral site?
A neutral site? Probably Indiana, to be honest. We're going to find out in a couple weeks, I think, right?
I think next week they play Ohio State.
No, they go Ohio State, Purdue. Damn. Well, they do play at Ohio State. They're on a bye this week, and then you go at Ohio State, which, god damn it, big noon kickoff. Please stop. That should be a night game in the shoe.
Yeah, I feel like that needs to be like a big time game. But you got to get Gus Johnson happy again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they did it. They're like, hey, like Gus is sad. Give him a good game. Hopefully it ends up being a good game.
It should be. I would expect it to be.
Hold on. Breaking news?
Breaking news? Question mark?
Breaking news. Did I miss this?
What?
Or did this already happen?
What?
I think this already happened. I might have gotten got. I just got a TikTok notification. Bronny James has scored his first points.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm rooting for the kid. So fuck you. Did this already happen? Like,
I swear it did. That happened a couple weeks ago.
Oh. Okay.
I don't even think the Lakers are playing right now.
Fuck
Lakers
you,
aren't
TikTok.
even playing right now.
Yeah, fuck you, TikTok.
Yeah, blame
I actually
TikTok.
haven't been keeping up with the Lakers since their very first game.
Oh shit, the Hawks beat the Celtics.
Yeah. Celtics
116.
they got to figure it out. I still believe the Celtics will figure it out at the end of towards
the
end.
They'll be a championship contender.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on to the NFL? Do we have anything else for college football?
I don't have anything else. I don't think, at least.
Okay.
UConn's 7-3, by the way. We'll throw that out there. Yeah, no, I have nothing else.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else either. I had to watch the quad box on YouTube TV, and I had to watch Mississippi Valley State or Mississippi's Valley, whatever, play Jackson State.
How was that? Better than the OU game?
It was close to start the game. I was like, oh, this is actually not that bad. And then Jackson State just blew it wide open.
Yeah.
So what else was I watching? I turned on when most of the games went to halftime. I turned on Rutgers, Minnesota for a little bit.
Oh, nice. Minnesota's been a sneaky fun team this year, man.
Yeah, PJ Fleck, man. Good coach.
He's going to give you a few.
All right. NFL Week 10?
Let's get it.
Is it Week 10?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, Week 10. November 10th, 2024 NFL recap will start in Munich. The Germans got the game they wanted. Bryce Young versus Daniel Jones. First of all, I do want to say congrats to the Panthers.
Yes.
I am happy for Bryce Young. He did finally smile. He's on a 2-game winning streak. He looks more comfortable. Mm-hmm. The stats aren't eye-glaring, but eye test, you can just kind of watch him. He seems a little bit more confident. They're scheming guys open.
There were a couple seconds at the end of that game where it looked like he was back to
Yeah. Well, it's going to take some time. He's got to rebuild his confidence.
That's true.
It's shot. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. As long as David Tepper's owner, I'm never going to trust the Panthers. But
fair enough.
Congrats to Dave Canales. He's having to do what he can with
what he's got.
like a broken pin, some licorice, a screwdriver that no longer works, and like
he's got to MacGyver his way to
basically
wins.
Like if you gave him like licorice, some chopped onions, like a thing of like fucking I don't know Brussels sprouts, and then some like pork rinds or something, and like a piece of chicken, and say, make something out of this. And he's like, all right, here's a 4-star meal.
Yeah, take this and make me a beef Wellington.
Yeah, but he ended up winning the game, and this is the first time they're on a 2-game winning streak. This is the first time since 2022 that they've won back-to-back games. So it's good for them. They're 3-7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, better than I thought they were going to be.
3 games.
Yeah, the Giants they're done, dude. It's over. It was crazy to me to see some of like the mental mistakes that team had, because you know how we talk about it with Oklahoma, like they just make mental errors in the game. They had a few of these, and it just doesn't seem like a bad coached team. Like at least this game, and I wouldn't expect that from Brian Daboll. Like his teams are pretty disciplined, but they had some special teams mistakes, offense, and everybody showed the video of like when Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner were showing the video of the deep post routes.
Yeah.
And the guys are open and Daniel Jones doesn't pull the trigger and gets sacked. Yeah.
It's so crazy for them to pay Daniel Jones. And
if you think about it, it was crazy for them to even draft him in the first place because we all said it. He was mediocre at Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't very good. It was just the Manning said, yeah, he went to our camp. We like this guy. Draft him. They're just a disaster of an organization right now. Daboll's going to get fired at the end of the season. Like it just looks like he's also checked out. Like he knows it. Maybe that's your offensive coordinator hire. Brent Venables just saying. I've been kind of throwing it out there.
Would you rather him in Norman or Chicago?
I think he'll have a chance in Norman.
Fair enough.
He might have a chance in Norman. They again, like it seemed like they've just kind of given up, and their defense played as well as they could. They were, flaunting what looked like it was going to be a comeback, but I mean, then they turned the ball over, and you got, the Panthers kicking a game-winning field goal. So that's kind of what their games have come down to. Daniel Jones, that draft. I mean, I'm still thinking about it now. Like for them to draft him, and to watch all the Giants fans just in shambles after they made the pick. And then everybody that was basically gaslighting, the people that were like, when Daniel Jones did play well, I guess in 2022, when he played like, above
they
like
had
the bar
their
that was
playoff
set.
run in one playoff game.
He played above the bar that was set, which wasn't very high in the first place.
Yeah.
And so everybody was like the guys that came out and said, well, what are you going to say about Daniel Jones now? Those guys need restitution.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Come out and say, hey, like it's one thing if Daniel Jones still had Joe Judge as their head coach or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they have Brian Daboll, a guy that knows offense and fixed a lot of quarterbacks. He fixed he helped progress Tua.
Mm-hmm.
He fixed Josh Allen. Like he has a track record with helping quarterbacks and putting together good offenses. But I got to give Daniel Jones a lot of credit. And I completely agree with Big Cat on this one because if you think about it, Daniel Jones, tip of the cap, he's been mediocre for like all of his career.
Yeah.
But he's made over $100 million.
Yeah. It's kind of like almost the Sam Bradford thing in the same vein. Sam Bradford made over
Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniel just made a ton of money. And Sam Bradford wasn't mediocre. He just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, couldn't stay healthy, play for bad teams.
Yeah. And so it's kind of the same.
And he also backed Kay Adams too. That rumor was going around all off, like before the season started. Like, hey, he's dating Kay Adams. Like, she was looking at him in ways that I wish she would look at me.
I must say, I wish Keanu was looking
Yeah.
that way as well.
But I mean, it's done for the Giants. I mean, you look at the remainder of their schedule, like I thought like their defense was going to win them games just because of how good they are. And this was one of those games that their defense should have won them in because they were 3-0 internationally. But I look at the rest of their schedule. It seems like they're tanking now.
Yeah.
Who would they get? Like Quinn Ewers? I mean,
that would be hilarious to watch that.
If you're going to get Quinn Ewers, like you got to keep Dayball, right?
Have to. Absolutely have to.
Because it's like Dayball inherited Daniel Jones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. It's like they paid Daniel Jones all that money. Like it's got to be over at some point.
I don't know if you watched the offseason Hard Knocks, but it was clear everybody in that front office.
And I kind of felt bad for Daniel Jones after that. Like,
wanted Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. And like, again, I feel bad for Daniel Jones, but like I don't anymore now that I know like he's made over $100 million. He bagged Kay Adams. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
what an
shout out to him, tip of the cap.
Yeah.
So what do the Giants do? I mean, tankathon?
Maybe
looking ahead to the draft.
Shadur Sanders?
Yeah. I guess if they pick number 1, you got to pick Shadur Sanders, right? Or do you
not Carson Beck?
Yeah, and that was like that was the consensus pick, right?
Yeah.
Going for like, hey, they should take Carson Beck. No, it's definitely going to be either Quinn Ewers or Shadur Sanders. Jalen Milroe, the guy. You know, he may not be the same passer that Josh Allen is, but where were Josh Allen's issues coming out of college? Like, he's got a cannon of an arm, but accuracy issues.
Yeah.
Dayball fixed that.
Yeah.
So if you get Jalen Milroe, I don't know. You got to wait. Maybe pick like a stud, another like stud wide receiver to pair with Malik Neighbors. Have him, Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, and then maybe like another stud wide receiver, and hope you can get Jalen Milroe in the second round.
And that wouldn't be bad, man. Maybe they take Travis Hunter first overall. Trade up early into the first round.
He can play both sides.
He could.
They've had issues
early in the first round and get Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, they've had issues at corner, so we'll see. Next game, probably the best early game, the Steelers Commanders.
Yeah,
which I would say that was probably the best game of the early slate.
Yeah,
I came away from this thinking this is a good loss for the Commanders, right? Because now you can see like, okay, the team does like they're a very well coached team, and Jaden Daniels is the future, and they've got pieces that they need. Like they've got Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, like guys that play winning football. But now you can address some of the concerns that you have in the offseason. Like, okay, this is what we need based on, what we're currently, with the product that we're putting on the field.
Yeah. And I mean, it's
a good win for the Steelers too, because that's a
very good win. That win for the Steelers is the model of consistency.
Mike Tomlin, dude. I mean,
yeah,
that guy, I can't say enough how incredible of a coach he is, because he's had to go through an aging Ben Roethlisberger, Kenny Pickett, and I like Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry, like I do, but now he is the story of like this NFL season where it's like, I mean, what he's been able to do. Benching Justin Fields after starting 4-2, putting in Russell Wilson and saying, hey, this is going to be our guy going forward.
Everyone thought he was crazy.
Yeah. Turns out this guy knows football, and there's a reason you hand this guy the keys to the franchise, basically.
Organization. Yeah.
Yeah. And say, hey, Omar Khan, talking to him, what do you like? How do you want to build this team? And he tells you, and the general manager agrees with it. So,
yeah.
But yeah, the Commanders can kind of address some of their weaknesses. Jaden wasn't great at all. But I mean, the Steelers defense is really good. And they were still getting, like, drives down the field. Like Cliff Kingsbury, say what you want about him. Guy's a hell of an offensive coach, man.
He is.
He's a hell of a quarterback developer and offensive game planner. The way he schemes his first 15 plays. Route concepts, everything. I mean, the guy, he's incredible.
Well, the way how he understands, and this is one of the big things I feel like you don't see a whole lot of offense. They're the most successful offensive coordinators. He truly truly understands how to look at the best defenses that he's going to play and formulate a general plan that's going to provide sufficient enough success more often than not against those teams.
I wish I had that.
Me too.
I wish I had
Well, I mean, Matt LaFleur has been great.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about
LaFleur,
OU. I keep thinking about OU. Matt
say
LaFleur
what you want about him and his late game field goal conundrum, but guy's a hell of a coach, Matt LaFleur. So, but yeah,
very, very lucky.
Yeah, no. Let's see. They probably need like another good wide receiver to go with Terry McLaurin, maybe like an elite edge rusher, and then like a really fucking good safety. Also, it was so perfectly Mike Tomlin, just like in all phases, they were great on the team, like offense, defense, making big plays when they needed to, special teams, the fake punt. They failed the first time they tried it.
Yeah.
They tried again.
That was bad.
They tried it again. It worked. So it's put my nuts on the table. Tomlin was in his bag, dude. He's such a good coach.
He is, man. Like I said, when we first started talking about the game, the Steelers are the model of consistency.
Yep.
No matter what, you're going to get a playoff team out of them.
And I know they don't – it's hard to win playoff games. And I know they kind of get bounced in the first round, but you can consistently know that he's going to be over 500 every year. Mm-hmm. They've gone through 3 head coaches since 1970.
Yeah.
And that was starting with Chuck Noll.
Yeah.
And they've just gone through, like, it's insane. Big day for Russell Wilson and George Pickens. George Pickens, he's just a walking highlight reel. The guy just will make an incredible catch. It was also the George Pickens game where you got everything out of George Pickens.
Literally.
They had a throw on a screen. I believe it was a screen. And basically there's like 5 defenders crowding him. And it was like the Jon Snow, like he literally, like, it looked like he was trying to take the guy's helmet off. Like it looked like he was trying to Myles Garrett this dude. It was like the funniest play that I'd ever seen from George. It was the most George Pickens thing that I had seen from George Pickens
fantastic
in his career, from like Georgia to the Steelers. It was the most George Pickens thing. Like it looked like he was trying to fight all 5 of those defenders to pick up the first down. It was hilarious. Yeah. And then we get an even more George Pickens moments when Russell Wilson throws the interception. Instead of going for the defender that catches the interception is running downfield, he goes after the receiver that's covering him, throws him to the ground, and like tries to vampire bite the dude. Like he goes after his neck like he's trying to chew on it. And, like, he's the most entertaining like player in the NFL, dude. He needs so funny.
Him and Jameis need their own camera and mic on them 24/7.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. But yeah, no, the Steelers are a very good. Both of these teams are very good football teams. Commanders fans, it's probably kind of like an ego check a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you win that game, you're 8-2, and you're like, Super Bowl is not off the table with a rookie quarterback. I mean, shit.
What was the stat they kept bringing up on the broadcast? They would have been 8-2 for the first time since like 91 or something like that. Crazy. Yeah. Crazy. Also insane to think about the fact that 1991 was 33 years ago.
No shit. Well, the Commanders, what are they on a bye next week?
I believe so.
Yeah, the Steelers play the Ravens, so good win to have for the Steelers for sure. Who did the Commanders play next?
No, the Commanders play. Oh yeah, no fucking problem.
Oh, they play the Eagles next. So no, they do play the
Eagles. Yeah, they play Thursday
night.
night. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so
Cowboys
play the Eagles.
The Texans.
That's gonna be a good fucking game.
I'm on that game.
That is that Thursday night. I'm happy for Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels. Like, there's another great
fucking some game. Bangers on Thursdays, man.
Yeah. Then the Cowboys, Titans, Saints, 3-game stretch after the Eagles where they're all winnable. Like, you should win those games given the team that you're currently putting on the field. And this isn't hyperbole. This team is probably like a division. Like, they probably, if they make the playoffs, if they don't win the division, I guarantee you they make the divisional round.
Oh yeah.
Like, I could see them playing the Falcons. Like, let's say the Bucs went out. They got to play the Falcons in the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them beating the Falcons. Same thing with the Bucs. If the Bucs like are a good enough team, bearing the Bucs are able to make the playoffs, like and win out, run the table, they could probably beat the Bucs in a rematch, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That Bucks team is very, very competitive.
I'll tell you, I'm pretty fucking terrified to play the Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
By the way, it's hate week for you and I. We should not be talking to each other.
That'll come up.
Yeah.
Is it even really like?
No, because
I don't hate you. Yeah, I don't hate you or the Packers right now. I've got other problems. We can go ahead and get into that.
Fair enough.
Patriots 19, Bears 3. It's like, what is the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Yes. I'm tired of sounding like a broken record. And I'm glad that
You're a broken man.
Yeah, I know. But we'll start with this. The Bears fired Shane Waldron. They went ahead and released him of his duties. They did elevate Tom Brown, the wide receivers coach, to be the play caller. He had taken over as a play caller in 2022 or 2023, I think, for the Panthers at one point. Wasn't great. Yeah, no, I mean, the tape, the pass, like after the Commanders game, like you can tell this team quit. They're lazy in their routes. I mean, the scheme was terrible. It felt like the scheme was terrible after the Jaguars game.
Mm.
I'm kind of glad that like I now know in my like I can finally like put it to rest that it is an organizational issue. That like you got one of the best QB prospects of all time that everyone was saying this guy should be the number one pick, and he was a consensus number one pick by multiple scouts who said like really his only glaring weakness is he tries to play hero ball and sometimes he has accuracy issues, which both can be fixed. But the Bears are never going to hire the best available coach that will create like a culture, like a winning culture that will develop a quarterback, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the same cycle over and over. It's been the same cycle for years now. They go and get this, you know, nuts and bolts defensive head coach that's going to bring back the defense, and then he gets fired because he has no success. And then they bring in a flashy offensive guy, you know, like kind of, you know, a guy that's his name's being thrown around, and then that ends up failing. So they go back to the nuts and bolts guy of being a defensive coordinator. So Lovie Smith was like the last coach that established culture and like wanted to have an identity. He gets fired. They hire Mark Trestman. That went to shit. Then they hired John Fox. Let's bring the defense back. That went to shit. They fire him. They get back. I'm a broken record at this point. I sound like a broken record. It's the same. It's the same shit over and over. But yeah, they fire Shane Waldron. That's basically plucking a tick off of a rabid dog. I mean, it's just yeah. Everybody wants to fire Eberflus. I mean, I guess that's just kind of how you have to. I mean, you do have to at this point. It hasn't looked good, but it is now like I've thought this for a very long time. But when we finally had Brian Poles come in and he brings in everything to set up to get Caleb Williams, a no-miss guy, like you don't miss on him.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could finally put your rest. Yes, it is an organization thing. The McCaskies are like the Haslams, are like the Jets. Like these are failing organizations that'll never get it right because they don't know a damn thing about football. They don't know a lick about football. And they just continue to hire middle of the road coaches that, I mean, Eberflus was like the fifth best option in 2022. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to go with him because they're too cheap to pay for a head coach. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not going to change until we sell the team. And so I'm glad that I've come to that realization. I'm also broken, and I hate that I had to come to that realization because now I know nothing will ever be good. And Caleb looks like a bust, and how do you convince fans of football on Twitter that don't know anything about the business and organization side of building a team and establishing a culture that you have to have that the Chiefs and the Packers and the Steelers to develop your quarterback.
Yeah.
It's okay to fail like Baker did in Cleveland. He'll get his second opportunity, hopefully with a good team. He'll be revived, and everything's going to look good for him. And I know you wanted me to be like hyped, and I know that this is what you wanted going into this game against the Packers. Like I know that's what that's absolutely what you wanted. Like I want this guy to have his hopes up, and then to be a good team, and then us to march in.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, as much as I love beating the brakes off the Bears, it's kind of like the OU Texas. Well, it's not as much like the OU Texas thing. I would prefer Texas to be bad forever. It just makes me happy. But the NFL is more fun than the Packers or Bears are at the top of their game, and they're both beating the piss out of each other twice a year. And I appreciate when the Bears are good. A lot of my family are Bears fans.
Yeah.
One of my best buddies, Bears fan. One of my other good friends, Simon's a huge Bears fan. I hate to see you so down, but I do love seeing the Bears.
You're a sicko.
I do love seeing the Bears get their just asses handed to them. It's kind of funny, but not as much as I used to. You've changed me a little bit. I will say that.
Yeah. Well,
I got Bears colors tattooed on me, man. I got some orange and some blue tattooed on me in the name of some family. So
yeah. But yeah, no, Caleb doesn't look good. He's not pulling the trigger. I mean, it's not like it's kind of the same issue that Oklahoma. My teams are literally the exact same. Offensive line is bad, and we can't develop our quarterback because quarterback's coach isn't very good, and we're not scheming guys open. Guys are kind of lazy on their routes. If they run a route, they don't continue to try to get open. They just stop in the middle of the route and say, hey, throw the ball to me. There was multiple plays where that was the case. Caleb has nobody to throw to. Mm-hmm. He has a progression that he has to go through, and at the end of his drop, I mean, there was one play at the end of his drop. The only guy that was open was maybe DeAndre Swift, but that's his fourth read in the progression. There's already a defender there. Like, the route concepts are just bad. They had a pick play, basically, where DJ Moore lined up behind Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's supposed to run a post, but it's supposed to be like he's blocking on the play when he runs his route. DJ Moore was an out. He should have flattened out a little bit, but I'm not going to blame that on him. That Caleb's got to pull the trigger. He's waiting for DJ Moore to turn. Bad throw. He's been inaccurate, but even then, I mean, it's more than Caleb Williams, and that's what sucks about it. Because I don't want this kid to like look like a bust, and like the rumors are coming out, and you have it at the bottom. Is Caleb Williams going to get benched? I guess for his sake, yeah, put Tyson Bagent out there, but I think that's all a false claim. Everybody's like, DJ Moore went up to Ryan Poles and said he wants Tyson Bagent to play. I don't know what's going on there with that whole thing. I hope it's just the players are sick of it as much as the fans. It's never going to change though, because we're going to be. It's lightning in a bottle. That's how it's what Chicago Bears is like. You hope and pray that the coach you hire that's middle of the road can somehow get this team going. Matt Nagy did it with his first year, and then after that, it was a disaster.
Well, and we talked about it. I mean, now it looks like it's Washington.
And I always wanted Jim Harbaugh, but we're never going to hire a coach like that. That's a football guy that's going to want reins to everything. You know, he's going to be the guy that's going to step in and check all the egos and say, this is my football team. I'm going to build it my way if we're going to be successful.
Yeah. Well, it's like we talked about it when he got hired or when they were drafting Caleb Williams. Now it looks like it's Washington, but this team was built for a young quarterback to come in and succeed. The offensive line has been a huge problem, in my opinion. I think it genuinely has.
Well, they've been beat up too. They were all backups. We had Darnell Wright's been out the past 2 games. Braxton Jones been out. Tevin Jenkins played awesome yesterday. That was his best game that he's played by far. They had nothing to show for it because we couldn't sustain drives. He was good in the running game. He was good in the passing game. Then he gets hurt. And so he's out the rest of the game.
And so that's the thing. It's just like there hasn't been –
and they were good last season. Like the last 8 games.
It looks just like OU.
Yeah. The last 8 games of last season, their offensive line was clicking.
Yeah.
Like it was like, okay, yeah, you could build something on this. And then I don't know. It's
just been It's just been tough, dude. It really
Yeah, it's the first time that they have not been able to. They haven't scored a touchdown in 2 straight games. It just felt like they broke, like they just quit after the Washington Hail Mary. Like it was like, yeah, this season was doomed. It's over. Like if you win that game, who knows what it looks like? But yeah, I don't know. And the clip of Shane Waldron on the sideline laughing and Caleb Williams just looking like he's done with everything. Like, yeah. And now RG3 doesn't look so stupid. And like I fucking hate that RG3 is right.
God, I know. Him in the media is the worst, dude. He's so annoying.
Oh, I like him too. Like,
I loved him as a player, but fuck me, he's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
It does remind me like what you're talking about the Keenan Williams thing, or Keenan Allen thing, him laughing last week. Did you see the clip of like Jackson Arnold talking to Deion Burks and like Jalil shows up for like half a second and turns around and is just like, okay, and just walks away. It's just everything.
It's a broken offense. And Oklahoma, both of my teams are going to have to make. They're going to have to
make
change.
some expert level fucking hires.
Yeah. A guy that could come in, write him a blank check. Same thing with Chicago. It's like, I would go up to Ben Johnson, Bruce Arians, Mike Vrabel. Some of these guys that like are proven. Well, I mean, I know Ben Johnson isn't proven, but he is the play caller in Detroit. Write him a blank check. Mm-hmm. He's the best offensive coordinator available going forward, but we're not going to hire him. We're going to hire Lincoln Riley or like middle of the road, like no shout to Bobby Slowick, but he's definitely the third best, maybe. Yeah. Out of him and Liam Cohen.
I mean, Ben Johnson is like way up here.
It's Ben Johnson and Liam Cohen for the Bucs.
Yeah, and then which is crazy. You remember when Dave Canales went and we were like, I don't know if the Bucs can keep this going, and they've been nothing but stellar really on offense, even with the injuries. The Baker stiff arm was fucking awesome.
Yeah. But you need a guy that's going to be able to establish a culture. And you look at him and say, we have this quarterback. Can you fix him? Like we've invested a lot of time for Caleb Williams. We want him to be the guy moving forward. Can you do it?
Are you thinking head coach? Or are you thinking offensive coordinator?
Head coach.
Head coach. Okay. I was about to say, I don't know how many of these guys necessarily take a horizontal job.
Well, nobody's going to want to come to the Bears. Like, they know how it's run. The structure and the culture is just terrible because McCaskey's, they're fucking idiots. They're the worst. I mean, they're as bad as the Haslams. They're as bad as the Jets are trying. They brought in Brett Favre. They brought in Aaron Rodgers. They're like, we want to win games. Like, it sucks for them. But like the Bears,
it's just crazy. You know, it's clinically. Sorry to cut you off. What's clinically insane to think about with that too? You know who's got more playoff ones in New York than Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre combined?
Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
But Caleb Williams, I mean, he was a surefire like pick, and I'm not giving up on him. Like,
Caleb Williams was number one by a mile.
Yeah, and people and like he wasn't ever that good. And of course, people can say whatever they want on Twitter. I mean, like, you know, it's fine. That's what Twitter's for. Like, you know, you got the experts saying
that's why Elon bought it. Right?
Yeah, he's never been that good. He's always been overrated. He's trash. And it's like, if you watch him play football,
that is for a reason.
Yeah, there's a reason that this guy was considered like a surefire pick. Maybe not as like up there as Andrew Luck was. I don't think anybody has been. But this guy was like touted as the number one pick when he was a true freshman.
Yeah.
I think it was after Red River.
I'm about to say it was from the time that he made that first huge miss on 4th and 1 to the time that he got to the end zone, everyone was like, yeah, that's him. Number one.
He's number one overall
pick. Play.
And
he's that play.
And this is what it's like with a bad culture and a defensive coordinator that he throws a couple of interceptions, you know, like he's trying to make a play. He throws a couple of interceptions against Houston. He throws an interception against the Colts. And now they're like, hey, limit the turnovers. Like, they're trying to make him fit into a system rather than hiring a coach that can make the system play to Caleb Williams' strengths. Like, You need a rookie quarterback to be aggressive. You need a rookie quarterback to go out there and make the mistakes.
Yep.
This is what it had the Packers do it so well, where it's like, all right, Aaron Rodgers going to make some mistakes, but we want him to throw it down the field. Jordan Love, it's going to look rough to start, but he needs to build continuity with his offensive line and wide receivers, and we need to build that confidence into him. Now it's looking better for him. Lamar Jackson with the Ravens, Josh Allen, accuracy issues. That was a big issue coming. There were mechanics, the way he holds the ball. I mean, everything there was a problem with Josh Allen, but it was like, hey, if you can that's why I was still high on Josh Allen. He's very raw in his mechanics, but you can develop him. He's got all the tools.
There's very few guys. There's very few guys that come in and hit the ground running at the NFL level. Like CJ Stroud is very rare.
But they developed him.
They did. They developed him over an offseason, though.
But they said, yeah.
And it's just insanely rare for that.
Well, now he's kind of missing some of his guys.
I'm about to say he's at a sophomore slump, but he'll get back. He'll get right.
Caleb Williams, it kind of just feels like it's going to be like another Baker situation where everybody's going to turn on him. Yeah, he was never that good. He's overrated. He stinks. And then he's going to get a shot. And it's going to be like, yeah.
He's going to go somewhere stinky and annoying too, like
the Rams.
Yeah.
Sean McVay. I would write Sean McVay a blank check right now and say, how much do you want? Come on over. Here's the keys to the franchise.
Yeah.
We're going to give you 4 years.
Instead of Norman?
I know. Either one. I don't even give a shit at this point.
Buddy, I know some black Escalades and some overcooked brisket. I know a house that's got it all for you.
Sean McVay, blank check. How much do you want? $20 million? Fine. Bring in your best defensive coordinator. Bring in the best you can. We've got the pieces.
Rally the troops.
Well, let's draft Will Campbell from LSU. Probably going to get a top 5 pick if we continue to tank. Get LSU, get Will Campbell. Try to work out a deal with the Browns. Maybe you can fool the Haslams and get Wyatt Teller. He's a top 5 center in the NFL.
You can fool the Haslams and get just about anything you want.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of that.
I don't think the McCaskies can. We fooled David Tepper, but that was Ryan Poles. And now Ryan Poles, yeah, he's did some of his decisions, I guess, with not maybe evaluating Shane Waldron enough, or maybe going after a better guy than Shane Waldron and letting him bring in his staff. The offensive line slump, the wide receivers, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. You have weapons, and none of them are playing good. Nobody's playing good. The offense is broken, and so it's because it's a culture thing. And Ryan Poles is going to be thrown under the sack. And now everybody's like, "Oh, Ryan Poles, he sucks. He's terrible." It's like, I don't know if he had a say in the decision to keep Loose.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had a decision to be able to hire the best offensive coordinator available. They are so strong for money. Kevin Warren, which I had my questions about him, he wanted to cancel the Big Ten during COVID. He doesn't know a lick about football. He cares more about the stadium. I had my questions about him. And then whenever everything came into play and we started playing good, it's like, okay, maybe he knows something. No, he doesn't. I'm sure he might have he probably wanted to keep Flus. Who knows? I don't know how much Ryan Poles has to say, and that's a structural ownership issue.
Yeah.
Jets are currently facing it, and the Browns always face it. Getting rid of the guy that drafted Baker. I can't think his fucking name. He drafted Mahomes too. Good GM.
Damn it! What is his name?
They hire Andrew Berry, and that's going well.
You want to move on? Next game.
Got to give my props to the Patriots. They tried to lose that game, but
they did.
They tried and they couldn't. Drake May, other than the bad interception, he played okay. He played decent. At least guys are getting open. At least their offensive coordinator can scheme guys open.
Who was that had their touchdown? Jalen Polk?
Yeah, Jalen Polk. Congrats to him. Yeah. But Demario Douglas is getting open. Jalen Polk's getting open. They can scheme guys open against a good defense. Well, the defense that's basically quit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. On paper.
I don't know. I mean, going forward, it's I have no more hope, and I'm sorry because I know you want me to have hope going forward. But what is the Packers line right now? What whose line is it? Packers -9, as I'm gonna guess.
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
That probably is Vegas saying we don't know if Jordan Love's going to be good to go.
Yeah, it's
So Jordan Love
in
is
Chicago as well.
well. If Jordan Love is healthy and ready to go, I bet you that moves to 8.5.
He's not even on the injury report,
That's
so I think he
that
should be
is
fine.
easy 6.5. I might bet it myself. I'll put $1,000 down on it. I'll win that. I'll win $940. I'm done with it because it's not going to change. Like, it's going to be a continuous cycle. Jerry Reinsdorf, it's all Chicago sports. The Bulls with Jerry Reinsdorf and the White Sox with Jerry Reinsdorf. Like, he's such a shitty
wild
owner.
to let him run two fucking different sports
The
organizations.
Blackhawks dynasty should have lasted so much longer.
Yeah.
Like, it should have. And with the Cubs, like, Epstein, like, Tony Epstein, that was a good hire. It's like, this guy knows what he's doing, and he built that team. And then there was ego issues. It was like the guy was like, hey, like, I know what I'm doing. And the ownership was like, no, like, you don't get to tell us what to do. You don't get to boss us around. They fire him. The Cubs are right back to square one. But that Blackhawks dynasty should have lasted so much longer. It didn't.
Yeah.
It's all Chicago sports. Like, it's poorly ran, and it's not going to change. And like, the McCaskey's got to sell the team.
Who's the best sports organization in Chicago right now? The Chicago Maroons.
Well, the Blackhawks, like, and you hear, well, no, and the Blackhawks, like, you're gonna hear, like, hey, give it about 3 years, like, you're gonna love this team, and it's like, fuck that. Like, we shouldn't have been going through a rebuild anyway. We should have won
the
more
Blackhawks,
championships.
the Blackhawks won.
Connor Bedard, like, he's a general, like, he was a no miss prospect. Him and Connor McDavid are the last two NHL prospects in the last 20 years where it's like, you can't miss on these guys. And Connor Bedard's been great, but I don't know if he's a good center.
Where like, the Blackhawks now 6-9-1.
Yeah, I mean, they're still rebuilding. In 3 years, it should look a lot better. I agree, but Connor Bedard, like, at center, like, it just doesn't look like he's built like a center. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the Cubs, disaster. Blackhawks might get better. The Bears, nothing's going to change. Yeah, it's sad. Like, it's sad that I had to come to the realization because I didn't want it to be. I thought Caleb Williams could change everything. Unfortunately, you can't fix broken. Like, as broken as this is.
That's fair.
Yeah, we can move on. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I had to get that out of my chest.
It's good to let you vent. This is our therapy. I want you guys.
But I still believe in Caleb Williams. I really do. If we can hire Ben Johnson or, like, somebody that can fix that.
I know an offensive coordinator that doesn't have a job that can come up there. He's got Oklahoma ties. There has to be two of them. So moving on. Bills, Colts, 30-20. Did it really ever feel that close? I mean, I know they had the pick six to start the game, and then it was.
Did you watch the game?
I had Red Zone on, so it was fairly close for most of it. But
it was close for like the majority of the game. Like,
I felt like it was inevitable, though. In my opinion, it was never. I never questioned the fact the Bills were going to lose that game.
Well, I mean, they both got up to a slow start. Like, both quarterbacks just didn't look very good. I mean,
they did. Ronald Moore, dude, or Kenny Moore is insane.
Yeah, he's great.
Or nickel, whatever you call it.
The Colts had 4 turnovers. Flacco started pretty ugly. He had the 2 interceptions and the fumble. But I mean, Josh Allen, it was kind of in the same boat. I don't know what the Colts are. I mean, maybe the Colts aren't making the playoffs. I mean, like, it seems like Shane Steichen's going for that. Like, he wants this to be a playoff team, but you just make the switch to Flacco, and it hasn't really looked any better. He's 0-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
at this point, you got to let it ride with Anthony Richardson. Your team's not getting better.
Do you, though? I mean, you want him to learn if he's going to be the franchise going forward. Like, if you believe in this guy, he kind of needs to learn behind Joe Flacco because Flacco's still making – he looked better in the second half.
Yeah, but he's also – you got to get the live game reps out there. But, I mean, at the same vein, like, if you
– He will. Like, he already has had the game.
That's true. That is true.
It's like Bryce Young. Like, he had the live
reps.
reps.
Packers fan talking about just starting your young quarterback. I don't want everyone to fail. I don't want anyone to figure out that it's – you pick up the quarterback and you let him sit for a couple of years. I don't want anybody to learn that.
Yeah.
I'm not giving the secrets out to anyone.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to stick with Flacco because I think they do want Anthony Richardson to learn and they want him to develop. I think it
Nobody
is kind
better
of
to
the
learn
right.
from than Flacco, to be honest. I mean, he's
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVP.
He will have a
champion.
couple games that are going to be ugly, and he's going to have some games where it's like that's what it's supposed to look
fucking
like.
40-something years old, man.
Yeah. Well, and they got better wide receivers. I mean, their wide receivers are good. Their offensive line is good. And for the Bills, Josh Allen started rough, yeah, but it looked clunky, but he played awesome in the fourth quarter. He had the 2 drives that were 13 plays.
Yeah.
One ended up in a field goal. One was the touchdown. So like
the play right before the half, or the game right, or the drive right before the half with the deep ball to Matt Collins slide down, getting out of bounds real quick, like just beautiful football. Very disciplined football.
Yeah, no, it is, and it is disciplined football. And I thought this would have been a good spot for the Colts, like with the Bills making mistakes on offense the way they did. It's like, okay, now you can take advantage of it. All right, run the ball with Jonathan Taylor, like set up some play action.
The ball well too.
Yeah, and no, I don't know. And the Bills have the Chiefs coming up, so I thought this would be kind of a look ahead game for them, and then the Colts would kind of sneak by with the win. But you want to hear an awesome stat?
What's up?
Josh Allen is now tied with the most rushing touchdowns in Bills franchise history. O.J. Simpson.
Who has more murders, you think? Probably O.J.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Maybe.
Probably O.J. Simpson. But now he's
tied.
A
lot of wild shit happens in Wyoming. They might be tied there too.
Yeah. Thank you, Scott Hansen, for that stat. That was awesome. That's funny. I'm happy for the franchise because it looks like he's going to break that record, and you probably want that record broken.
Yeah, you want O.J. Simpson to get bumped as far down the list as possible.
Yeah, and to have Josh Allen do it, your franchise.
Did you ever see that tweet where the guy was like, "Wow, just reading up on O.J. Simpson, this shit is insane. 12 yards to carry."
Yeah, I saw that.
It's so funny.
No, that was awesome. I'm kind of happy for the Bills fans that this is going to be broken. He needs to score. What if he doesn't score another rushing touchdown like the rest of his career, and he's just tied with O.J. Simpson?
Keeps getting to the one.
Yeah.
It'd be the opposite of what's going on in Philly. He gets to the one and then gives it to the running back.
Yeah.
I think scratching his ass in the middle of the podcast.
Sorry. My back is fucking itchy. My ass. No, let's
get I'll sniff it. I'll sniff it.
I think Shane Steichen's a really good coach.
I agree.
Some of his decision making this season has been odd, though.
Yeah,
they're one of the. You've got a good offensive line. You're a very good play caller and play designer, and you've got one of the best running backs in the league. They've steered away from running the ball sometimes this season when you've got Jonathan Taylor, and it kind of doesn't make sense. I'm watching the game and I'm like, run the ball. Like, you just got a turnover. Like, run the ball. Set up play action. Set up Flacco to make a throw across the middle, or have the defense on their heels. I don't know. It's almost like is he coaching for his job? Like, I don't feel like he is. They were good last season with Gardner Minshew. I mean, like they almost won the division.
Yeah, I don't think he's coaching for his job. I think it's. I don't know.
You want Anthony Richardson to learn as much as possible, so you want Flacco to throw the ball as much as he can, so Anthony Richardson can learn. Like, I don't know.
I feel like it's almost like a.
You need to be able to run the ball. That's every NFL team. Like, you've got to be able to run the ball to be, unless you're like the Bengals, I guess, but they can run the ball well.
Yeah.
Now with Chase Brown, like, they're running the ball effectively.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Chase Brown, been a savior for my fantasy team, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know. Bills are, they're a very good football team. I was right.
Very true. I want to go ahead and move on. We gotta get things. We're getting late. How the fuck do the Chiefs keep getting away with it?
Good question. Because they're the Chiefs and they're inevitable.
Oh my god, man! I think I might make the thumbnail for this video the block field goal with the ref facing me.
Yeah, no, I mean, they probably should have lost this game. But they keep getting away with it because they're the Chiefs and they're inevitable. It's funny because I'm watching it happen like live on as it's happening, and they get Bo Nix, great job. He gets them down the field, and they're setting up the game-winning kick, and the first thing that comes into my mind is the kicker's going to break his leg, or like the staff is going to go over their head, and the Chiefs are going to end up winning this game.
It felt inevitable. Right?
Yeah, like it felt. I legitimately said, like, as I'm watching it with my mom and dad, I'm like, the kicker, like the stadium's going to explode, or like the kicker's going to break his leg or slip and fall. Something's going to happen.
Bane's going to blow out the floor.
Yeah.
Like he did in Batman.
And they end up blocking the kick. And the Chiefs, they keep getting away with it. Yeah. That's a demoralizing loss for them, though. Doesn't it feel like?
Oh, yeah. It's – oh, God.
Like, they looked good. Chiefs went 1-4 in the red zone. Bo Nix was good. He had no interceptions. He drove down the field on the final drive to 13 plays, 43 yards, the game-winning field goal. And the Chiefs came away with the victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're 9-0. It's kind of impressive. Like, it is impressive to me, like, how it will always go their way. I want that in my life.
Yeah, fuck.
I desperately want that. I might have to be a Chiefs fan.
No, God.
It might break the curse, though, because every team I'm a fan of, it just breaks down. Maybe I have to save the NFL.
Maybe you are the chosen one to sacrifice your own happiness. With great power comes great responsibility.
Okay, you're right.
Can you please be?
It is still just fucking crazy to me. Like, it's crazy that it looked like the Chiefs were going to get handed their first loss of the season, and we talked about it would be the most Bo Nix thing ever if he was the first one to, hand the Chiefs their first, and it looked like it. Like, the Chiefs they couldn't get anything going on offense, and like, I don't know. They're still 9-0. They're seven of their wins are one-score games. They have the lowest point differential for an undefeated team.
Is the writing kind of on the wall? Is it just a Lions Chiefs Super Bowl at this point?
I don't know. Maybe you should get the ticker at the bottom.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
Probably. I saw the script get leaked. 59-54 Chiefs.
Yeah.
Would be fucking awesome, insane Super Bowl, dude. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be all for it.
Yeah, that would be an awesome Super Bowl. Maybe not for Lions fans, but at least you made it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
Lions will find a way to walk out of there with the Super Bowl trophy and a kneecap or two. They'd figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Saints beat the hell out of the Falcons.
What was the final score? 2017?
17-20, but it surely felt like the Saints whooped their ass. The first half they did.
What did I tell you about interim head coach winning the first game after the head coach gets fired?
It's one of the best bets in NFL history.
Yep. It's an easy bet. And Darren Rizzi, man, he had that team fighting. He said he was going to have his teams were going to fight and play with passion.
What was he talking about in the post-game press conference? Did he say he had diarrhea, like shit himself, and he thought it was going to be a bad day?
He clogged the toilet.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he clogged the toilet. He said he was going to be a shitty day, or it was going to be a crappy day. What a way to mark your territory, by the way.
Oh, 100%, dude.
This is Mercedes-Benz, or right? The Chiefs playing?
Yeah.
No,
that's Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. Superdome. What's the Superdome for the Saints?
Mercedes-Benz Superdome?
No. What's the Superdome for the Saints?
Saints Stadium. The Caesars Superdome.
Yeah, Superdome. He's marking his territory. He clogged the toilet and said, "Yeah, I'm the shit."
Now it's Rizzi Superdome.
Yeah, I'm the shit, and you're about to smell.
Funny enough, I did that at an ex-girlfriend's place. First time I went over there.
Yeah, no. And I mean, like they did everything. Like Derek Carr played well. Their defense played well. They had a blocked field goal. He's a special teams coordinator, so like he was fucking fired up about that. But the Saints, like they walked away from this being like, like that's a good win for them because that Falcons are leading the division, and they did exactly what their head coach wanted them to do and to play with as much fight as they possibly could. They came away with the victory, and if you're the Falcons, you're probably kicking yourself. You're like, how the fuck did we lose that game?
Bijan Robinson had a pretty awesome touchdown.
Yeah, I know. Like Bijan Robinson is like incredible. Like that touchdown run. You're right. He was dead to rights, and then he was just like, I'm just going to outrun everybody and
Yeah,
get it
dude.
in. Like it's crazy. That guy's phenomenal. We forgot to mention Darren Rizzi. Did you see what happened? Like when they were celebrating, when they did like the on the field, it looked like he tore his ACL. Like he buckled.
Oh no, I
It's
didn't.
like watching like a doe, like a baby deer, like when they
Yeah.
buckle. Like it looked bad. I was like, oh my god! Like he just tore every
Uh,
ligament in his knee and every tendon, and then
maybe he did, and then just
no, it was
walked
just a
off because
stinger.
he's a beast. Oh, just a stinger.
Yeah, he said he got a stinger. I guess one of the coaches like was spraying him like with water or whatever, and he was trying to get him to stop, and then like I don't know, it just buckled. Apparently, it fucked up the left side of his body, but it looked bad. I mean, it looked like his knee had caved. You should go watch it. It was
Jesus.
crazy. Yeah, Darren Rizzi. I'm happy for him. 3-7. This should be it'd be 2-8 if it was Dennis Allen. So
Yeah.
do you think they win
fair.
another game? Maybe they go 4
Let's see. Who are they going on the schedule?
13.
Who are they going on the schedule? Usually, the special teams coordinators can be the ones that turn it around when they get the head coach bump. They got the Browns this week.
Win
They're home against the
against
Browns.
Jameis?
Home
Maybe
against the
Jameis?
Rams. They go to New York to play the Giants.
I've counted
Commanders.
1 win already.
Yeah, they're at home for Washington. Back on the road in Lambeau. Is that a Monday night game? That's 12:20.
Okay, so I've counted 1 win so far. The Browns is a toss-up because Jameis, so I can't ever bet against Jameis.
And then they have their last home game of the season is against the Raiders.
Yeah.
And then the Bucks. So maybe 2
or 3,
possibly
maybe?
3 wins there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Those
We'll
3
definitely
would
see.
be Browns, Giants, Raiders, you'd think, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely see. But, I mean, the Falcons, like, what the hell is that? Kirk Cousins,
Yeah.
I mean, he basically reverted back to classic Kirk Cousins, going for the check down on 4th down.
Yeah.
You got to learn from that, dude. You got to learn from that. It was like that happened against the Giants, right? He did the check down.
Playoffs?
Against DJ Hawkinson. It was 4th and like 7.
Yeah.
He did it again. It's like, dude, my God. But yeah, no, I mean, that's a pretty ugly loss for them. And of course, Bijan Robinson's still amazing, but I mean, oh yeah, we forgot to mention. Maybe this was okay. Yeah, no, we'll talk about this in another game. But kickers kind of had a bad week because Young Wei Koo. I mean, he missed 3 kicks.
Jake Moody looked bad too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the next game. But yeah, no, this was a good win for the Saints. They needed this. You got to build morale, and you did it at home too. So Superdome they were loud.
Yeah. Next game. Bucks Niners 23, Bucks 20. God damn it! Can Baker not get a defense to get a stop for once when it matters?
That was
Jesus Christ, man. That was my main takeaway from this game. I mean, the Baker stiff arm for the first down on Nick Bosa was fantastic, and then all Nick Bosa.
You got to learn to like set these things up better.
I don't care, man.
Yeah, you got to learn to set these things up better. I'll do it. I was basically just gonna go into. I thought both quarterbacks looked really good in this game, honestly. Like,
I agree.
Like both were. I mean, they were under a ton of pressure. Like that, they were bringing blitz packages all day, both sides of the ball. Baker was awesome. It's like you said, the stiff arm. He made 2 incredible throws. I mean, he just fights. He's back. I mean, he's back to being that dog, and he's fun to watch. Like whenever he's playing, fucking awesome. But I thought Brock Purdy was good too, because he was in the same boat, like under a ton of pressure, escaping the pocket, making throws, like big time throws when he needed to. He looks
both
good
of them were super efficient. Neither one of them threw a pick. Like they both look good. Man.
Brock Purdy looked really fucking good in this game. This is probably his best as he looked all season with the blitz packages that Todd Bowles was throwing at him.
Yeah.
But both quarterbacks. I mean, that was probably the best quarterback game in my opinion. Like of all the games, that was the best that 2 quarterbacks looked on the field this week.
How many yards did Brock Purdy have so far this year? 2,400
yards. In the 49ers. They had that impressive drive at the end of the game to kick the game-winning field goal. And you can say what you want about the Bucs defense. I mean, yeah, they've looked bad all season, but they did enough. I mean,
they did. They did.
Like, they just couldn't at the end of the game. That's Brock Purdy making plays. Like, he played good. So, but yeah, that was funny though. But like, Bosa probably could just tug him down.
Oh, he could have just fell.
Yeah, I don't know
Easily
what
could've
happened
just
there,
fell.
but it was cool. Just like, I mean, that was
Maybe
one
he
of the most
was. Maybe once he grabbed him, he immediately was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot Trump won," and he was just kind of like,
yeah,
in a little bit of a trance, you know.
yeah, that's probably what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
I don't know. At first I thought like the 49ers probably should have won by more. Like this is a beat up Bucks team, and you're coming off of a bye. Like you get Christian McCaffrey back, like he's got to get going. So it's like this wasn't as impressive of a win for the 49ers as it could have been. But then I forgot that the Bucks are actually a good team. They're just missing wide receivers, and they play everybody tough.
Yeah.
So credit to Baker and Liam Cohen and Todd Bowles. You got to fix the defense.
Credit to Todd Bowles.
Yeah, credit to Todd Bowles. You got to figure that out a little bit, but they're still 4-6. Yeah. I do think we need to kind of take a look at the remainder of the Bucs schedule and take a look at what's going on with the Falcons schedule. And you might want to place a bet for the Bucs to potentially win the division.
God, the Bucs have lost 4 straight, man.
We'll take a look at who they got next.
They go to the Giants.
Win.
They get a bye week, and they're on a bye week this week. Then they go to the Giants. When
Mike Evans might be coming back.
They go to the Panthers.
Yep.
When they got the Raiders at home, at Chargers, at Cowboys, should beat the Cowboys, and they finish with the Panthers and Saints. Realistically, that's a stretch where they can go 6-1 and finish the season at 10-7.
And look at the Falcons.
The Falcons, they go to Denver. Tough game this weekend. Get a bye week.
Yep.
They got the Chargers at home. Another tough game. They go to Minnesota, to Vegas. They're at home for the Giants. Go to Washington and finish the season against Carolina. So they have the harder schedule, but they got the 2-game lead. And so it's like, if it comes down to a tiebreaker, the Falcons got it.
I still think the Falcons probably are going to win the division, but wouldn't shock me. Like if
not at all.
Kind of went the Bucs' way because they've been competitive in all these games that they played. They had some heartbreakers. Sucks when you got injuries on defense, and then you got some guys actually just not playing well on defense. Some of their veteran guys too. Yeah. And then Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are out. So you got to get up to speed with, hey, now,
their offensive line has been banged up too, right?
Yeah, but they're playing well. I mean, this was a tough game. The 49ers have a good defense, and it felt like Bucky Irving and Rachaad White were fighting for every inch, fighting for every yard. So, but they played well, and now you got to get all right until Mike Evans comes back. Now Chris Godwin's out for the season. He was having another career year. You got your main target. He might be coming back, but you're going to have to develop chemistry with some of the younger guys.
Yeah,
McMillan's got to get up to speed. But Jake Moody, like you had mentioned, he missed some kicks. He was 1 of 4 today. But Brock, they did well. He got the game-winning kick. Yeah, he had the game-winning kick. Brock Purdy, that contract discussion at the end of the season is going to be amazing. I can't
very wait. Entertaining.
Yeah. 49ers, though, Cardinals look good.
Got CMC back.
Yeah, but the Cardinals look good.
They do.
The Rams are pretty frisky. I can see the Rams beating the 49ers again. Probably won't happen, but it's going to be tough for them to kind of win out. We don't know what the Seahawks are. The Seahawks are just one of those teams where it's like they could win any game and lose any game.
Yeah.
So it feels like they kind of have to win every game going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the Bucs are losing, I am happy for Baker. Yeah, everybody's going to say he needs a defense, but I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he plays his best when he doesn't have a defense.
Yeah.
So there's
I don't know. When Baker knows he's got to go out there and do it, you get a pretty good Baker. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on. We got to wrap through some of these.
Jags.
Yeah. Jags, Vikings. Mac Jones, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
On the stat sheet, which I looked this up, the Vikings dominated the stat sheet.
Mm-hmm.
They had over 400 yards of offense compared to the Jags, 143 yards.
Mm-hmm.
They had 28 first downs. That was 18 more than the Jags. Jags had 10.
Jesus.
They had 82 offensive plays, in which 61 of them were in the Jaguars' territory. So they were in enemy territory for 61 of the 82 offensive snaps.
Mm-hmm.
Final score was 12-7. They won by 5. How could that be, you ask? Well, Sam Darnold turned right back into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Like, he and I actually saw this from Big Cat. He's actually the first quarterback to have 3 picks and not score a single touchdown, but yet led his team to victory since the first RG3 Rex Grossman did it in the famous Monday night game against the Cardinals in 06. The "We are who they thought they were." The Devin Hester punt return. He's also the first QB to throw 3 picks and not score a touchdown since Sam Darnold, Week 9 in 2018. So, yeah, if they have a very good defense, their defense is amazing. It's probably the most fun defense to watch in the NFL right now. Like them, the Chiefs, and the Texans. When you want to talk about aggressiveness and just how good they are. But no chance they make the NFC Championship unless they revert Sam Darnold back to what he was earlier in the season.
Yeah, they might not even win a playoff game unless they do.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what is going to be going on there. But on the flip side, the Jaguars lost that game to Sam Darnold throwing 3 interceptions and not scoring a touchdown himself.
Hey, the white shell helmet's pretty clean, though.
Yeah. I thought the uniforms
They lost, but they look good out there.
Yeah. Well, they're a very fucking poor coach team, dude.
Yeah.
Like the mistake on Trayvon Walker throwing the punches in the game.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's bad, dude.
You got the job done. What are you doing? And then Mac Jones was fucking awful.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Like, I mean,
oh man.
But again, but in the Jaguars, I mean, they're bad. Of course, Mac Jones isn't going to look great when the team doesn't look great. If Trevor Lawrence can't look great. But yeah, no, Trevor Lawrence he could miss the rest of the season. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Diane Rossini came out and said that he has a serious AC joint sprain.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Everything is just bad I feel bad for Jags fans. Like Doug Peterson, his seat is flaming hot. He's getting testy too with reporters.
Yeah, he really is.
Did you see his post-game presser?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so basically, he was asked like, what were the details of the play where Mac Jones threw the interception, and he said, "I'm not going to go through that with you because you guys wouldn't figure it out anyways. We'll look at the tape tomorrow." Sign of a coach that is he's getting pissed, and because he knows he's probably done, and his team, like, I don't know. Maybe you could blame CBS's own Pete Briscoe because he had them as a Super Bowl team 2 years in a row. Kind of after Trevor Lawrence, after he had made the pick that he thought the Jags were a Super Bowl team, Trevor Lawrence has the bad injury, and then he did it again this year, and they've looked awful. So maybe you could blame it on him, Jags fans. Okay, Chargers Titans. The Chargers are a damn good team. Told you they were going to be because I believed in Jim Harbaugh so much. Justin Herbert's back. He looks good, doesn't he?
He does. He
looks good. Quentin Johnston's been fixed. They don't have like stellar wide receivers, but that doesn't matter because they're playing hardball is what they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I'm rooting for Harbaugh to break the Chargers curse, it does make me sad because I wanted him so bad in Chicago. And like it is working. Like his team on paper, people probably had them as like a 6 or 5 win team.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is fucking good. The offensive line's playing good. They run the ball. They can make explosive plays. They can throw a deep shot to Quentin Johnson or Ladd McConkey because they have Justin Herbert. Yeah. I'm happy for Jim Harbaugh. At the same time, I'm really sad that he's not a coach.
Yeah.
But this is an organization that always gets the quarterback right, and it's like it's time for change. Like it's time for us to start winning. And the Harbaugh recipe is working, and it's going to work. They're going to be a playoff team this year, I think. Yeah. Anyways, there's still a lot of season to go. They might not, but they're still going to win 9 games.
Yeah,
and they're they're going to get better because there's a formula with Harbaugh, and it always works and it always wins.
Their remaining schedule. You got the Bengals this week, Ravens the following week.
You might need to bet the Bengals on that one.
Yeah.
Remember
and they go
Harbaugh
to
stat?
Atlanta, to Kansas City, home for the Bucks, home for the Broncos. They finish the season with 2 road games at the Patriots, at the Raiders.
They're going to beat the Broncos, Patriots, and Raiders.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, no, they're a good football team. And then for the Titans, I think it's going to take a couple of years for them to be good because their defense is good. Their offensive line's playing good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to take a while for them for that structure and that culture to set with Brian Callahan because I like Brian Callahan. I want him to be a good coach. So Will Levis is making progress.
Yes.
He didn't make a catastrophic mistake that turned himself into a meme. I know you wanted to put him on your meme board.
I know.
Sorry you didn't get one this week, pal. I was hoping you would. But no, Will Levis. I don't know what it's going to end up looking like. Whether it is going to take a couple of years for the Titans to get back to where they were. Trading DeAndre Hopkins is good. You got to start over. Whether they stick with Will Levis, if Will Levis progresses, or if they draft a quarterback, they are still missing a few key pieces to move forward. But yeah, I think their defense is good. It's going to take a while. The Titans players that are there, just stick it out. Unless you want to come to Chicago, because I'd love Devondre Sweat to come over, but he's not going to. Or Jeffrey Simmons, that'd be sick.
Agreed.
So, next game. Eagles 34, Cowboys 6. This was a shit kicking.
Yeah.
The final score was closer than the actual game was. Can we talk about something real quick?
Go ahead.
It's just so hilarious that you have this $2 billion stadium that you build, and the sun is the big flaming ball in the sky. Maybe you should have thought about hey,
listing the stadium, maybe.
The Jerry couldn't have possibly thought the time of the day that the sun, the direction that the sun rises and sets, and the time of day where it's setting in a position to peek through your stadium if you have windows, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. He's
been adamantly defending it too.
Did you see when they asked him about it, when the reporter asked, because they were talking about there's got to be solutions to cover because it inhibited CeeDee Lamb from catching the touchdown.
He said it's a benefit for us.
Yeah, I guess. If you score when you're going down the
other way.
Yeah, you better score the other way on quarters 1 and 2, or quarters 1 and 3, or 2 and 4.
Look back at it. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' career highlights in AT&T Stadium, the games that aren't at night, he's going the opposite way.
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. It's so perfectly Jerry Jones Cowboys that they couldn't figure. They know it's an issue.
Players were attentive advisors.
Yeah. Well, they know it's an issue. Well, that's why Zeke had the visor.
Yeah.
Zeke had got the darkest visor he possibly could. Which I love his helmet so much with that visor. I wish he was still good. He's getting testier with reporters too. It's just gotten to a new point because they asked him if you know where the sun is going to be in the stadium, why not put the curtains up? And Jerry, he came out, he lashed out. He was like, well, how about we tear down the whole damn stadium? Or he said, well, how about we tear the damn stadium down and build a new one? Are you kidding me?
Or you can build it, I don't know, smarter.
Do you feel like the reporter was in the wrong with that question?
No, it's a completely legitimate question.
Yeah. He is.
It is funny, though, that it's taken, 12 years for people to. Well, I mean, people have asked the question and it's been talked about, but it feels like it's become a big talking point. It really only becomes a big talking point when it ruins the Cowboys and everyone gets to laugh at it because it's the fucking Cowboys. But it is just objectively funny to me that it.
Yeah, the Cowboys are. I mean, they're fucked this season.
If they
and they're in full.
Sanders.
They're in full rebuild. I mean, like there were so many miscues on like the center
Mm-hmm.
missing snaps, Cooper Rush fumbling. Um, yeah, I mean, it got so bad that they put Trey Lance in.
How Trey Lance look?
How do you think?
I mean, 4 for 6, 21 yards, an interception. Oh man, the Trey Lance interception's
Yeah.
a good bet to take if you know he's going to play.
Well, I guess we can go to the other side. The Eagles. I mean, they're starting to look good again, dude.
They are, man.
McDaniel's defense is rounding into form. I thought it was going to take a little bit longer because with Chicago, it took a couple of years when they had the 2018 defense. But I mean, they have the pieces already, so like it's not surprising that it's rounding into form quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nick Sirianni just needs incredible. I mean, he needs really good coordinators. Most head coaches do if you want to be a successful team. Jalen Hurts looks good. Yeah, no, they're doing really good. Should Nick Sirianni get a contract extension?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's been fireable, but I don't know that he's been good enough.
Can I read something off to you?
Extend. Go ahead.
Nick Sirianni is 41-19 as an Eagles head coach. He's made the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
20 of those wins were by 10 or more points. Like he's won by 10 or more points in those games. He's also the first Eagles head coach to have 3 seasons, like 3 back-to-back seasons where he starts the season with a record of 7-2 or better. I know.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing with him is it feels like it falls apart in the end. Outside of the Super Bowl season. I guess it's really just last year.
What?
I think that's just
his first season. He went 8-9, didn't he? They made the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just like recency bias.
Yeah,
just because.
Because I thought the same thing. I was like, it got so bad last year, but then you got to think about it. It was like, I mean, if they don't fall apart this season, which I don't think they will, like with Vic Fangio, with his defense, with Jalen Hurts playing well, and not having like the critical fumbles. I don't know, man. He's been a pretty damn good coach.
It is true.
He might fall apart at the end of the season. You may be right. I got to ask the question.
On paper, he's been a pretty good coach, but I feel like I don't know.
They shouldn't have been that close with the Jaguars. There were 2 extremely questionable calls in that game. Bad calls. They should have whomped the Jaguars. They whomped the Cowboys. They shit-kicked the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, they are starting to look like a very good NFL team, like they should have been. Right?
Yeah.
Like they're starting to get better. Whomped the Giants. Whomped the Bengals. Should not have been that close with the Jaguars. They got the Commanders coming up. That's going to be a fun game. Also,
but in the NFL, it's any given Sunday, right? Anyone can pop up and grab you.
But he's done it on 3 weeks now.
That's true.
So, I know they're bad teams, but he's still beating good teams. The Bengals are a good team. Yeah. They're just snake bit right now. Also, Dak's season-ending surgery.
Oh, is it official?
Yeah. So there's that. Move on to the Cardinals Jets. Another fucking shit kicking 31-6. Good night.
Kyler, 3-0 since Call of Duty Black Ops 6 came out.
That's true. Yeah, the Cardinals are for real. They're playing really good football. They haven't allowed a touchdown in 2 straight games.
It's crazy.
They haven't allowed a touchdown in 2 straight games. They won 5 out of their last 6. It's like you said. I was actually going to text you this and ask you because Kyler Murray doesn't really have to play hero ball, but he's going to occasionally just make like a play that you watch and you're like, only he can make that play. Like there's very few quarterbacks that can do what he does on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a top 5 quarterback?
No, I don't think so. I think you're top 5. I think it's Mahomes, Allen, Jackson.
I'm talking about this season.
Mahomes, Allen, Jackson. Well, not Mahomes. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow.
Baker.
He's
lost, but I mean, he's looked good. Got the most passing touchdowns.
Goff until Sunday, but maybe Kyler?
Goff.
Purdy? No.
He's up there.
He's up there, but no.
It's arguable. Like, you can argue it.
He's like 5 through 8.
Put him anywhere.
Yeah.
No complaints. Because
you can put him at 5, and I'd be like, yeah, that's fair.
If his offensive line plays good, and you can get the running game going, and he's figured it out with Marvin Harrison Jr., like, he's incredible. I like watching Kyler Murray play football.
I agree.
It's so fun to watch. It's like a little kid running out there just making everybody look silly. Yeah. Maybe he could play. Reward him. Let him play Call of Duty at least one day.
Yeah, dude.
So, also, Buda Baker's insane, dude.
Huh?
I said. I was gonna say this. He was 17 of 17 after the first quarter.
God.
Yeah, ball didn't hit the ground. And I was gonna say Buda Baker's insane. Like, he was all over the place this game.
Also, Kyler Murray loves insomnia cookies. I don't know if you saw that TikTok he posted.
Insomnia cookies.
Yeah. Do you know what insomnia cookies?
I'm more of a Cookie Society guy. Cookie Society's
I'm a Great American Cookie Company guy.
Yeah.
That's the shitty 580 in me, maybe.
The Jets are a disaster. They're in the same position that they're always in because, like the Bears and the Browns, ownership needs to change. Jet season is over. I feel bad for him.
Yep.
Because you basically could have kept Zach Wilson and you'd be in the same spot.
Yeah, for cheaper.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they didn't.
Last game, Lions-Texans. Holy shit, what a gutsy win by the Lions.
What a fucking, yeah, dude. The Texans in the second half just fell apart.
What a gutsy win by the Lions. They were down 16. Goff had 5 picks in this game. It looked bad. I mean, the Texans were flying around. They had answers for everything. And CJ Stroud, with what limited offensive weapons he had and his offensive line being banked up, he played good.
Yeah.
But then Goff, he came back and won. Like, they came back and won that game. If I told you that Jared Goff was going to have 5 picks in the first half and not 100, and he had under 100 yards passing, probably would have said, okay, it's just not their night.
And he even finished the game at 50% completion percentage.
But this is what happens when you build a culture and you have Dan Campbell who, like, they know that they're going to go for it on 4th down. They know, like, he even said it. Like, Brian Branch posted the clip of Dan Campbell during his, first his hiring, debut presser, where he was like, "You're going to knock us down. We're going to get back up. We're going to punch you in the mouth. We're going to bite some kneecaps on the way down before we get up." It's insane. And did you watch the game?
I did.
Bates, those 2 field goals looked like they were going to miss.
Yes, bro. They it almost made me feel like it was
gonna hit.
Not even real.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like it was VR or not VR, like a simulation, bro. Because it looked like the ball hit each time.
Yeah, no, it was insane. But
he was the XFL guy just a couple years back, right? Was it him?
Yeah, he was selling bricks in Houston.
That's right. Yeah.
He was what?
What kind of bricks?
We'll never know.
Clay bricks, or were they dusty?
Yeah, but no, this was an impressive win for the Lions. This is like the mark of a good team. This is a team that can, I think, win a Super Bowl.
You play your worst game and still find a way to win.
Yeah, like this team can win a Super Bowl.
Agreed.
Like, I think they can. Like, they are good enough to do that. That proved it to me last night.
Mm-hmm.
Texans feels like they're another team that's snake bit. Obviously, they're missing Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Will Anderson still is out too, right?
I think, Will Anderson was out this game. Well, so Darius Smith didn't get to play this game. I think they're going to activate him next week. To play for the Lions. Larry Tunsil, I think, got hurt this game.
You think in a couple years, Darius Smith plays for the Bears and just goes through the full NFC North thing?
I think so.
Okay,
I think he would.
Sounds like something you do.
Seems like the kind of guy that should be coaching.
Probably.
You feel like he'd be a good coach, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good enough motivator.
Yeah, the Texans, I don't know what's going on there, man. Like, I don't know what they're going to be able to do. They're 6-4. How'd
you feel about the all red uniforms, Battle Reds?
When I I thought that was the key to their success in the first half. I was like, they're winning because of these uniforms. Like,
It felt
they're
like
coming out. And their defense was amazing in the first half.
Yeah.
So, but now uphill battle for your Super Bowl favorite.
It's not going to happen. Packers won't make it. Texans can make it. Packers won't make it. So.
I don't think either one of them.
No, neither one.
So
I legitimately think at this point, as cliche as it is to say, it feels like it's just Lions Chiefs. Either Lions Chiefs,
Lions 49ers.
Lions Bills.
I think it's Chiefs 49ers again, to be honest. Like,
I would swallow as much bleach as humanly possible for it before it killed me. That was it.
That's really all I have on the games, man.
Yeah.
I'm a snake bit man.
Yeah. Is the Monday night game worth talking about at all? Any?
Yeah, impressive win for the Dolphins. They were playing.
They're second in their division at 3-6.
Yeah, they are.
They're also a game or two out of the third overall pick.
Well, the Rams. I mean, still a frisky team. I still think they're going to win some games, but I mean, they had nothing going for them. Like and it's not like they forced like a big sack on Tua and they converted to 3rd and 16. I mean, they just couldn't get anything going their way. Like it was just, and Stafford looked uncomfortable. He was missing throws that he wanted to have back.
Did you see Tua lower his head for the tackle on the pick?
I know. My God.
He just wants to get fucking CTE.
You know what? I kind of give him props for that. Like at this point, it's like
that's ballsy.
He's very fucking ballsy. He's like, it's not saying on the table. You probably don't want to do that if you're Tua, but I think he's just a football guy at this point. He's like, I know what I am, and it's gonna happen.
No matter what.
Yeah, but it just felt like Matt Stafford was missing throws. Like they were just dumb penalties. Like it didn't feel like a Sean McVay coach team.
Yeah,
but they did something that I liked a lot. They ran outside zone when they set it up to play action boot. Got Stafford out, rolled offensive line one way, moved Stafford one way. Defensive line goes the same way. Wide receiver open. Makes a good throw on the run. Why can't my teams fucking do that?
You know what the problem is and why the Rams aren't winning more football games, right?
What is it?
Not playing Drake Stoops.
Okay. You might be onto something now.
I'm fucking telling you, man.
No,
he only had one losing season his entire career in college?
Robinson's been really good though for them.
Yeah. Jordan Wilkins played well as well. Kyron Williams. They have skill position. They have stars at skill position.
Breaking news. 49ers and CB Damador, Illinois have reached a 5-year, $92 million extension.
Yeah.
So, okay, this wasn't breaking news, but I just now saw it. So
I mean, it's breaking for the day. They don't know when we record this. Could be breaking news.
Yeah. But anyway, impressive win for the Dolphins, and they're a frisky team. Like they've looked like competitive in their past few games, and Tua is just a different.
Tua makes them a very different team.
Yeah, they do. So this is a good thing they paid him.
Anyone that argues that Tua is not a good NFL quarterback should watch the Dolphins when he's not playing, and then watch the Dolphins when he's.
Yeah,
the difference that he makes.
All right, man.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
For Sebastian, me.
Thank you.
Chet Holmgren's hip, the future of the Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to pray for the future of the Bears, just for Sebastian, just for him to survive. I think he can make it. He's lived in the dumps for long enough. But as always, not feel free, not even please. I'm not asking. I'm telling. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what you think. Share this with as many people as you can. People you think that'll love it. People you think that'll hate it. We really don't care. Also, tell us what you think about the ticker going across the bottom. We're trying something new. Not paying for this because, like I said, we're broke. So there's cooler shit we can do with this, but it is very expensive. So what?
We don't give a fuck what you think. We're going to do it anyway.
Exactly. I'm going to start texting some. I'm going to channel my inner SEC quarterback and start.
Also, if you're a Missouri fan, like, do you like Eli Drinkowitz? I want to know something.
Genuine question. Genuine. Okay. I don't know if you can find a Missouri fan, but that's a genuine question. So, but yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it. PigSkin Podcast, Season 2, Episode 20. Peace out.